Yeah. Hello, everybody. I may have to get my other easel. Showing volleyball, I assume the volleyball game will be over quickly here. Cats, we've got Pixel right here. Morning all. Howdy, howdy. Ottawa's probably going to have a bunch of draft picks again today. I went with a team that I felt was probably going to be busy today. So sure. Morning. Yes. Slow mode is now in. YouTube did an update. So now they've made it so that A, there's slow mode, and B, you can make it so that it's subscriber only chat, which should help with some of the spamming stuff that would go on during live streams. So sometimes YouTube does things that improve the actual experience. Morning. Does Vetrano stay or go to Seattle? Vetrano's going to stay. He'll stay in Florida. They have a lot of scoring, but I can't see them trading him. The Sabres should take Ratu. Thoughts on why Wallstead dropped? It's likely a matter of teams deciding that they don't need a goalie yet. Teams are hesitant to draft a goalie in the first round. This is kind of a known thing. I talked about it before the draft. I did a video on it. It's just kind of how that works. Not sure why that is. Thank you. Oh, she's downstairs, I believe, making herself beautiful. So I actually let her sleep this morning. So I got up and set things up and kind of let her sleep a bit. So not that I'll be thanked for that, but yeah, I let her sleep a little bit. The draft starts in like a minute. At least the broadcast starts. We'll see when the actual draft starts. The Reinhardt trade, I couldn't find anything before this that said exactly what's going on other than we know it's Devin Levi. There's some picks. That's all we know. So we'll see. It'll probably get announced during the draft exactly what the specifics are on that. Am I doing a review for round one? Yes. The board is still there. It's still all set up. It's good to go. And I've got, I don't know if I'm going to have enough goal magnets today, but I'm using the goal magnets for the rounds 2 through 7 part of this. McCarr deal, I haven't looked through it. I saw 6x9. If that's the case, then him being paid less than Seth Jones is a choice. Johnson and Sillinger with Columbus. I would say they're both. I mean, it's not going to happen this year, but it'll probably be a couple of years down the road. Columbus is building a pretty good pipeline for themselves. It is currently 8 a.m. McCarr's extension, like I said, if it's 6x9, that's fine. The Sharks most likely to trade if they move a veteran. It's a matter of finding somebody to take on those contracts. They may try to move somebody, but again, they're going to have to get off to a slow start for that to happen too, because Doug Wilson thinks they're still in contention. Last I heard, Strollman is still on the block. Wait, lots of opinions. Yzerman drafted poorly. Whose opinions are those? Edvinson's a fantastic pick. And then Costa's a good pick too. I have no idea why anybody would think those are bad picks. Okay, so they're still showing that Olympic there. Oh, come on, guys. There's the draft. All right. Got to make sure I've got it on the network that's actually showing the draft, right? Any chance of getting ready for the Penguins? You know, Ratu has dropped. He has just dropped. I have no idea how far he's going to drop. CM Punk signing with AEW. If that's the fact, then they have a fantastic chance to grab even more ratings. What channel's showing it? In Canada, it's on the Sportsnet. Yeah, it's on Sportsnet. It looks like it's all of them. All of them except Sportsnet 1. Yeah, all of them except Sportsnet 1, which is still showing the Olympics. Which is fine. Olympics are a pretty big deal too. I can't show the TV. That would be copyright. Yeah, Daniel Bryan, it sounds like is a fait accompli that he's gonna do that. For Ratu, it's not necessarily risky, just that he stalled. His development stalled this year. So good morning. Thank you.
TWO. Do I get to join you?
Yeah. You were sleeping. I didn't.
I know. I'm like, oh, what time is it? Oh, I realized what time it was. Morning. That's really tiny, though. I can't read that.
Anything notable regarding Mason McTavish? He's a good player, and he was jumping up in the draft. I even did the video on it where I talked about how his draft stock had gone up. So I'm not necessarily surprised that he went as early as he did.
Good morning. Oh, somebody likes your hat and jersey. What are you wearing today? Oh, yeah. This one is, I don't know if they can see the hat. It's kind of cool looking on the hat.
Well, because it's the gold.
But how the texture on it makes it really nice, I think. I am wearing my Hurricane jersey. I had to take the tags off of it this morning. I've never got to wear this before.
There you go.
So, yeah.
I bought you that over 2 years ago.
I know. Didn't I get this for Christmas 2 years ago?
I think so.
Because I got quite a few of the...
Do you watch AEW?
No, I don't.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
I don't really have a favorite, and I generally don't like the male wrestlers. If they're big and veiny and oily, that's gross. Some of the women can be entertaining, but I don't.
You'd like the
I'm not
AEW
drinking
guys more
coffee,
because they're
I'm
not
drinking
as
tea.
sweaty and they're not as oily.
I don't like veiny, oily guys. That's gross. So no.
There goes your birthday present.
Some of the women are fun, and I like looking at their ring gear. So, okay.
Well, Britt Baker's fantastic. So
kitties.
DMD.
What's slow mode? It's so that people can't
Spam.
do a gajillion comments in a couple seconds, and it's obnoxious. It makes it so your whole screen, all you see is one person commenting.
Yeah. Thank you
What
for
did we
bringing
set
it
it
back.
for? Like a minute or something?
60 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, so then somebody can only comment once every minute, which is still a lot, but it makes it so the whole stream isn't covered by somebody doing like emojis.
Which happened.
Obnoxious, yeah. Bit random, but Philip Forsberg or Andre Platt. Your board's closer, or is the computer closer? Can I move the computer a little bit? There you go. I felt like I was squishing you. What NHL arenas have you, Your Majesty Yvonne, with the Right Honorable Mr. Shannon been to? Not very many. Lisa says she loves slow mode. We've been to Vancouver, T-Mobile in Vegas, Anaheim.
So Honda Center, T-Mobile,
That's
and
it, right?
Rogers in Vancouver. Yep.
Yeah. Not lots.
So are they just going through who hasn't been drafted
We're
yet?
upstairs because when we do these live streams, people like to complain that I'm standing in front of the board and they just want me to move my head. So when we're here, the living room's a lot bigger than is set. So
yeah, it is a lot bigger. Can I trade? Can I have my setup here?
Sorry, nope.
And
my eyes, thank you for slow mode. I know, right? Yeah.
Josh Doan. That's right. That's
what do I hate
Doan's
doing
kid.
more, laundry or dishes? Laundry, we have a dishwasher. I don't really mind doing either though. Our kids are teenagers, so they do their own dishes and their own laundry. So it's not like I have a ton to do.
Sometimes our work requires some prodding, but they get it done.
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely. So have you done your laundry?
We're doing the notable. We're doing the notable draft picks from each round.
What are your thoughts on which fit better for women? Women's versus smaller men's jersey. I'm thinking of purchasing one. For me, women's jerseys fit me way better. This is a women's jersey. This is a women's small. I have men's extra small, and they fit the same this way, but they'll still go down like mid-thigh. So the men's are a lot boxier, but they're a lot longer. So they'll still go way past like my hands and they'll go way down my legs. The women's fit me way better. What's with the camera? There we go.
What did you do to the camera?
So I by far prefer the women's, but I prefer the women's Reebok. I don't like, they don't even make women's Adidas.
No, they make Fanatics.
They make Fanatics. I don't like the Fanatics.
Yep.
So if it's a newer jersey, I get the men's. Get it in the 42, which is the equivalent to a women's small. So yeah, but it does depend on your shape a bit as well. What team got the better deal out of Makar and Jones?
The Makar one, I from the sounds of it, is cheaper. And if you're paying less money for Makar, 6 years, $54 million. If you're getting Makar for less money than Jones, I think Makar's the better defenseman now. Makar's like one of the best defensemen in the game. So what this does is it also gives Quinn Hughes an outline, the Canucks an outline to how much he's worth, which should be less than Makar, but still pretty substantial.
Well, the Thrashers beat the Kraken. That'd be a fun series, wouldn't it? Oh,
could be the Thraken. You could combine the two, the Thraken series.
You dork.
The Crashers. There you go.
We are awake early. I know. I've been awake for a whole 15 minutes. So
I've been awake for an hour and a half.
Of course you were.
I woke up at 6:30 and couldn't. Of course you were. So
I know. Yeah, I sleep really well. So where do you see Gabe Lincoln going today?
Gabe's got some serious mutton chops. He should have a very good chance just for the mutton chops alone.
And let's stick there. We go. What do you think of the Red Wings draft so far?
I like it. If anybody's criticizing the draft picks, when Moritz Seider was drafted a couple years back by Yzerman, people criticized that plenty. I don't hear a lot of criticism of that pick now. So trust Yzerman. He knows what he's doing.
Early for you, but this is super EU friendly. Sure.
Well, yeah, the sun's just kind of coming up and.
Hello from Russia. Thank you for your content.
No problem.
What does the Makar deal mean for Landeskog?
What does what mean for Landeskog?
The Makar deal.
Oh, not much, because they're completely different players, and I think they already knew how much they were willing to pay for Landeskog.
What in the world does that sound?
Motorcycle.
Oh.
Or
they're trying to break cement. Oh no, I think you're right.
Yeah, motorcycle.
Okay. All right. Hypothetical. Minnesota trade third rounder to get Susie back. Who says no?
I would think Seattle would say no. Yeah, I don't think it would take a third rounder for Susie.
What will Ovechkin's contract look like? I think it's longer than 4 years. I found out yesterday I don't have cancer after being hospitalized.
Not having cancer is fantastic.
Fantastic.
I don't think Ovechkin's going to get a deal that's more than 4 years long. I think it'll be a 2 or 3 year deal if he gets one. Come on, Pixel. Come on.
But I have to tell him I hate him.
Get up
Hate
there.
him. He's
No,
still right
stop it.
there. I have to let him know.
Get up here. Come on.
My treat. Oh wait. Should open
Careful with
open
this.
the window back up for him.
This is gonna potentially fall over if they're gonna fight on that tree.
I just read that one. It's one of my favorite Carolina jerseys. I know, me too. I was pretty excited when you found this one in women's. So
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Carolina jerseys too.
Thoughts on Reinhart to Florida?
I haven't seen the return yet, so until I see the return, I mean, Florida has a wealth of forwards, so you have to think maybe that's going to open up other moves for Florida to make. But yeah, things are definitely happening with Buffalo. We'll see how much they got back.
You can see Shadow now. Oh, here, if we move that fan a little bit. Oh, he's moving on. He's like,
Yep.
yeah, I'm gonna go this way. How does Wallstead compare to Spencer Knight?
Wallstead is more. There was more hype about Wallstead than there was about Knight, but they're both excellent goaltenders, and we won't have a comparison between the two until probably at least 2 years from now. I would think Wallstead's probably at least 2 years out.
Come for the cats and jerseys, stay for the draft. We're over further today. Keep seeing Adelaide just walking by.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really drink, so
No.
it's a very rare thing, and when we do, it's like a cider.
Yeah,
But we really we bought a 6-pack at the beginning of the pandemic. It's still in the fridge. We really don't drink. Will Voracek get traded?
He might, but it's going to be tough because that's a lot of money. So that cap hit is going to be tough to move. Really, really tough to move.
We own 4 cats, or we have 4 cats. Saying we own cats sounds weird. We have 4 cats.
They choose to stay.
We could make beer bread, but then I'd have to have beer in the house.
Yeah, we don't drink beer.
Bleh.
I haven't had a beer in, it's got to be over
Bleh.
10 years since I had a beer. I don't think I've had a beer the whole time we've been together.
No, because they're nasty.
Yeah, I'm not a beer person at all.
Okay. Do the Devils try and offer sheet Quinn Hughes? And if so, how much would it have to be for the Canucks not to match it?
I don't think Quinn Hughes is eligible for an offer sheet. I'm pretty sure that he's not eligible. Pedersen is. Quinn Hughes is not. Otherwise, there would be plenty of talk about Quinn Hughes getting offer sheeted. It would take a ton of money to get him out of Vancouver. I would say a minimum of $10 million cap hit. But yeah, I'm 99% sure that Quinn Hughes is not eligible for an offer sheet.
No, I also don't drink. Are you guys sober? Just don't like. Neither of us like to drink. So ever, I've never. No. What temperature is it? It's 17 right now. It's supposed to be really hot today, though.
It's supposed to get to 29 today.
Which, like we were talking yesterday, anything over 25 is hot. So 29, really hot.
We're supposed to get another heat wave this week. Supposed to get into the early 30s.
Oh my gosh.
30s.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be living in the pool. Got it.
Yeah. I'll be living in the pool too when I'm not doing videos.
Do you think Lucius, okay, was a good pick for the Jets? Seeing lots of mixed opinions. Let's go Jets.
I had Lucius, I think 12th in my draft. So yeah, that's a pretty good pick as late as they got him. And again, this year's draft, there's going to be more divergent opinions than you find on other drafts because of the lack of scouting and the lack of consensus on who should go where.
Do you think the Jets got the steal of the draft? Wait. Yeah, 2 questions right in a row. with Chaz Lucius. Got 2 top centers in the past 2 drafts. Bright future for the center position.
You can never have too many centers. You can't have too many centers, so that's a good thing.
Okay. Oh my gosh, somewhere it's supposed to be 45.
Where?
I don't know.
Oh,
It says supposed to be 45 degrees there. That is awful. I am sorry. You must live in the middle of the desert, or
well, yeah, obviously.
that's not.
For us, it's getting
That's
close.
not
though.
normal Earth temperature.
We're into day 37 without any rain, so we're getting close.
Awful. 29 degrees is normal here. It's not here. 25 is normally like our hottest. So, no. Oilers fans not happy with their pick.
Fans are normally not happy with the pick. I am surprised that Edmonton didn't take a goaltender and they traded that pick, but we'll see how it turns out for him.
Oh, somebody's asking us lasagna or spaghetti again.
Lasagna.
Depends on if I'm making it.
Well, you can cheat. You can make spaghetti and then put it in the oven and put cheese over top.
I really like
and
lasagna, but it takes like 3 times longer than making spaghetti. So spaghetti is really good, and I usually put lots and lots of vegetables in spaghetti, so that's
Prokhor
fantastic.
Poltapov. Okay.
But spaghetti takes forever. So yeah. I'm a Hawks fan. Should I be nervous about our future after yesterday's trade? Love the content, by the way. This channel is unmatched.
It appears that the future is now for Chicago. That they have to think they're in it, because you don't make that Seth Jones deal if you don't think that you're in the running for at least the playoffs. So they think they're in it. I don't know. I think that's a tough sell in the Central, but they sold futures for Jones, so we'll see where it goes. It's a risky move, though.
Why do you think the 2 goalies in the first round fell later than expected?
Goaltenders, drafting goaltenders early is there's a risk there, and then there's the patience factor too. GMs, I think sometimes they don't want to wait as long as you have to wait for goaltenders, and I think they try to go with the best player available, which if there's a forward and a goaltender and they're roughly about the same, they'll usually pick the forward.
Of the players drafted so far, who has the best name?
This Prokhor Poltapov, that's a good one. I like that one. It's a shame Ratu hasn't been drafted yet. Well, somebody's excited. Olin Zellweger. That's a good one. I like that. That's a good one. Olin Zellweger.
She's left. Any chance Carolina actually drafts a player today?
That who does? Carolina? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they will. Absolutely. They've got a bunch of picks.
Do you think the Blackhawks will get Colton Dash?
Dak.
That's right. I remember.
They might get Dak. I don't know which round he's supposed to go in, but since it's such a all over the place draft, yeah, you never know. So Seattle's on the clock now.
Your thoughts?
Goal magnets. Seattle goal magnets.
Oh, yeah. Those are tiny. Your thoughts on what Steve Yzerman did last night? A lot of networks saying he reached on both picks.
Edvinson's not a reach. I don't know who would tell them Edvinson was a reach. Edvinson, some mock drafts had him as high as second. Edvinson is a safe pick. Casa, there were like Bob McKenzie said before the draft, out of the 10 scouts he talked to, 4 of them had Casa ahead of Wallstead. So they were both pretty good picks.
Do you ever feel burnt out from all the content you upload daily, or does your passion for the game drive you?
Oh, I'm not burned out. Anytime I start getting burned out, I just remember jobs I've had before, and I feel better. So Riker Evans is taken by Seattle. That sounds like a Seattle guy.
Shannon's a super hard worker. Like before we did YouTube even, Shannon's a really, really hard worker, and I think that's part of what drives you or something like that.
Well, and I remember when I was broke and
Yeah.
had a crap job, and
Yep.
I know how easy it is for it all to go away. So yeah, that's a motivator.
Do you think Bubbles might finally get drafted this year, or has his time gone? I wish he would have gotten his break.
Yeah, I don't know. Bubbles is also the nickname for Buble there. So, remember, he referred to himself as that.
I've never heard anything.
He referred to himself as Bubbles.
Sure, people do. I've never. Hello, Hecka. How are the cats?
Well, Pixel's better now that she's the queen of the mountain.
He's on top of her. Casey,
You could
there
just
she is.
Turn the camera.
Here's a kitty. Okay.
Yep.
Are you surprised Aturati fell out of the first, and how quick does he go today?
Well, we're already up to pick number 35. So Seattle didn't take him. Anaheim didn't take him. Buffalo didn't take him. I don't know how far he's going to drop. Vegas is up next. Maybe they take Ratu.
I go to bed to THC, wake up to THC.
Same here.
Me too. Yeah.
Wake up, look in the mirror. Crap, it's that guy again.
Do you collect hockey cards?
Yes.
We have so many
I have
hockey
a
cards.
lot of boxes of cards.
Oh my gosh.
That are unopened as of this point.
Many.
So.
All the hockey
Dallas
cards.
has back-to-back picks at 47 and 48. That's fun.
The bunnies are outside in their hutch still.
Yes. And it's nice and cool out, so they should be outside while it's nice and cool out.
It'll be hot later, so bunnies don't like hot.
Nope.
Tell us more about Abraham Lincoln.
Well, see, my knowledge on Abraham Lincoln isn't nearly as good as my knowledge on Gabraham Lincoln, his cousin. They were twins. So what happens is when you're in the womb, if you're too close to your cousin or your sister or your brother, you can have like the eggs will interact with each other because there's not that much in between the two. See, so one can kind of mimic the other. Yeah. And one can kind of mimic the other. So when they're born, they're twins. And that starts with two wombs that are too close to one another. You can get that happening. Or like you could be shedding eggs. And
what?
Yeah, that can happen too. It's not a very well-known fact, but that can happen.
That does not sound comfortable.
Oh, it's not comfortable at all. It's rare.
Gosh,
and it happened more back in the 1840s.
No, okay. Anyways, moving on. You guys have killed enough brain cells. Thoughts on Klingberg being traded? What do you think the asking price is?
It should be astronomical because if Dallas trades Klingberg, I won't be a happy camper. I love Klingberg. I would not be happy if he was traded. Vegas is taking a while to make this pick. I'll bet you they're trading it.
Do you watch other sports or just hockey? Shannon likes
I watch
sports.
Lots of sports.
Shannon
Lots
likes
of sports. Vegas is
all
taking
the sports.
Vegas is taking a timeout. So either they're making their pick or they're working the phones because they don't really want the guy who's there at 36. They want to move down.
Sports. It's true. We learned it in science class. No.
Yeah, there's egg spores.
Oh, somebody wants to know about your hat. When did you get it? I don't see it on Fanatics.
I got this from NHL, the Canadian NHL site.
Yeah, didn't you just get that one last year?
Yeah, I got as many. I got as many of them as I could.
I think those were last year's hats.
The reverse. This is the reverse retro.
Right. Okay, I thought so.
So, or as they call it on the NHL site, special edition. So it's the special edition hat.
It's a silly name for it.
I know they didn't call it the reverse retro on the website.
That's right. All the reverse retros have the stripes on the bills.
Yep.
Why a Sens jersey?
Because the Sens are going to be busy today.
Not?
Sens are going to be busy today. They're going to have a bunch of draft picks because that's what Ottawa does.
Do you like this old new Sens logo more than their previous logo?
I still like the other logo.
It's better than Scooby-Doo, so
it's better than the old Scooby-Doo eyes, but I like the other logo too.
Is that why they called Lincoln the rail splitter?
Actually,
Oh,
what that came from, actually, he was called the Grail Splitter at one point too, because he had the Holy Grail and he split it. And then there were two Holy Grail. So because of the fact that he was a twin cousin with Gabe, he was also able to split things he had this ability to divide things into two. Many people don't know this, but he did. He had that ability.
Moving on. We're up so early, my plant lights aren't even on. You see that?
Why would your plant lights be on?
Because they come on during the day for my plants. So that I have happy plants. Do you never notice the plant
I noticed that the lights are on, but I don't understand why they're on.
To make the plants happy.
Why don't you go over and sing to them? That makes plants happy too.
You go sing to them. Okay, woke up at 1 a.m. Eastern after a 1 hour nap to Reinhardt's trade to the Panthers. Haven't slept since while waiting for what my Panthers are giving up.
Yeah, I gave up last night. I stayed up till like almost 10:30 waiting, and then gave up. We didn't even get to watch Love Island last night. We're going to have to watch that later. Squeeze that in between the end of this and the meetup today.
Yvonne, duct tape works well. I don't know if I have any duct tape. Gabriel usually takes it, but I have a lot of hockey tape. I have all the hockey tape.
Tons of hockey tape.
Duct tape usually gets taken by children. When will David Poyle retire as GM of the Preds?
He can't have that much time left, but it feels like he's going to go on as long as he physically can. You would think it'd have to be within the next 3 to 5 years.
Hey guys, came for the history of twin cousins, but stayed for the hockey talk. What does Drury have to do to make the Rangers a playoff contender?
Drury came in at a good time. The Rangers have a lot of good young pieces in that lineup. I think they were due to move up in the Metro anyways, and I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be good. I think they were going to be good anyways. So it's just a matter of adding the right veterans, like Barclay Goodrow, and find the right veterans, and you're good.
What are some names you could see signing with Tampa on the cheap?
I would think the veteran type players like what Toronto found with Spezza, Thornton, veteran players who are looking for a Stanley Cup ring, guys who are hungry for that championship. I would think those are the guys they'll sign because those players will likely sign for below $1 million. Who knows? Maybe they go out and get Corey Perry. Maybe he doesn't re-sign with Montreal.
Listening while delivering mail on my Bluetooth. Who did the Ducks pick? And thanks for letting me keep up with the draft while working.
The Ducks drafted Olin Zellweger, defenseman, so far in the second round. They've just got the 3 picks so far, though. So at this rate, they'll get the 7th round done by about next June.
Oh my gosh, if we go by the timing of yesterday.
Yeah, Vegas used a timeout for this one.
Why?
Because they're likely trying to trade the pick. That's my guess.
Why didn't they try that before? I'm going to sue Vegas for taking this long. It's not yesterday. We don't want a repeat of yesterday.
No. It's different too because Bill Daly's announcing all the picks.
Do y'all watch Big Brother?
I watch parts of it right now. I'm not watching all of it.
I don't like Big Brother.
No.
People are horrible.
I just had to make sure that they got rid of Frenchie this week. That was my concern. I wasn't a fan of the way Frenchie played that first week, promising everybody safety. And yeah, I was like, they got to call him out. So I'm glad they did, and they got rid of him. So it looks like that pick was traded to Detroit.
I don't generally like shows
Detroit's
like
on the clock.
People are terrible. So
Vegas trades down a couple of spots. Detroit trades up a couple of spots. You've got to think this has got to be raw too.
Good morning, Yvonne and Shannon. Let us see more cats on this live. You saw 3 yesterday on the live stream. So Bear decided not to come up. Where is Lily Bell?
Right there.
She's Lily Bell's. Adelie's eating breakfast. So Lily Bell's sitting with her. Pixel. I just showed Pixel. And then I just saw Shadow.
He went downstairs, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he'll be back because he always is. Let's see, where was I? Have you seen Big Mouth?
I watched the first couple episodes. It just didn't. I don't know. It didn't do it for me.
I don't know.
I wasn't able to really get into it. It's an animated series on Netflix.
Oh, I don't generally like animated series, so. How many timeouts can there be in this draft? One per team?
I have no idea. That's the first time I've seen it in a second round. That's I mean, that could definitely make this take longer.
Canes trade Ned, and then the next day say Mrazek is going to open market on Wednesday. This is such a mess for the Canes right now. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess they have some other plan. There has to be something there. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, it's not going to be Ratu. Shy. All right, I'm gonna just take their. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm just gonna leave that as it is. Buium. So Detroit drafts, meaning Arizona's next, and Ratu continues to dive. Doesn't Arizona have the rights to his brother? I'm pretty sure Ratu's brother is Arizona property. It would make some sense if Arizona picked him.
Hey guys, Billy and I say hi. Oh, it's Harrison. And I was just wondering how you feel about the Sharks grabbing Eklund at 7.
Oh, Eklund, that's a steal. On my draft board, I think I had him at 5th. I think I had him going to Columbus. Really good offensive player. He'll get an opportunity in training camp, I would think, to earn himself a spot. That's a good pick by San Jose. That's the kind of forward that they need. They need more dynamic scoring forwards.
Shannon, do you like rap music?
Some of it. I do enjoy some of it.
Ever been to Europe? Come to Finland to watch local hockey.
We want to go to Europe.
I have been to Europe forever ago.
Oh, there we go. Flames acquire Sam Reinhart from the Sabres. And it doesn't say for what. That doesn't help.
How do you feel about Logan Melieu?
I'm surprised Montreal drafted him last night. There's a lot of fallout from that. We'll see what happens. I personally, if I was in the position of a general manager, I wouldn't have drafted him. There were other options there. Kind of surprised. Oh yeah, Josh Stone. That makes a lot of sense.
Cobra Kai is on season 4 already?
Yes.
How didn't that show just come out last year?
Nope. It's been out for a while.
Oh, I've never watched it. Season 4 already, though?
Yeah. Huh. So Josh Stone, right wing, goes to Arizona. That makes sense.
Oh, where's my phone?
Does she know how to discern it?
Yeah.
She got
Sometimes I'm quicker at it. We don't.
Okay, so now Vegas is up.
There's my phone saying, hey.
Yeah. My phone says that too, but I have all my notifications turned off.
I don't for the house.
I do. Because why not? Although I don't think I have the security thing on my phone.
Why not?
I don't think I have it.
Is that why you always ask me to unlock the house?
Because I don't think I have it on my phone.
You should have it on your phone.
Why? Because I never leave the house.
You do sometimes. Well, sometimes you go in the yard. Yeah. Sometimes you go into the driveway. It's easier just have you turn it off. Or see, the kids think that too. Mom, can you turn off the house? Okay. Forgot to ask thoughts on Hamilton's situation.
Dougie, he's going to make a ton of money. You look at the money that's being thrown around on defensemen right now. He is going to get paid. Waiting was a smart move on his part. He's got to be worth at least $9 million now, right? He's got to. If Seth Jones is worth 9.5, he's got to be worth 9. So it's a matter of which team has that kind of money that they want to throw around.
Of course, we like red green. Who doesn't like red green?
I think Chibrikov is the better player. I don't know that either of them are available at 48 though.
Biggest winner of round 1?
Columbus added what they needed, and they managed to get more draft picks. I know the draft is kind of a crapshoot, So that's why I think it's a good idea to have extra picks. It's sort of like a lotto ticket. The more tickets you have, the better your option, the better your chances.
Yeah, it just skipped. Wyatt Johnson. I'm embarrassed somehow. I had never heard of him before. You know much about him? Oh, there's Shadow.
I didn't get to the point in the draft where he was supposed to go when I was doing my playlist, so I haven't looked into Wyatt Johnson. Once the draft's done, I'll be doing videos on some of the picks that got taken. So, yeah, I'll be looking at him for sure.
Sam Reinhart, exchange for forward Frank Vetrano, goalie prospect Devin Levi, and a conditional first-round pick.
That's it? Wow. That's all they got for it. I thought they would get more than that. Adelaide,
do you think
put him back out in the yard? It's still cool outside. They don't need to be in the house.
Adelaide, it's supposed to get really hot today. Okay, so how about you put them in their play yard? Do you want to do that?
They already are in their play yard.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's where they should be, sweetie, because it's going to get really hot.
You can give them some of their leaves
before it's really hot.
Okay. Do you think teams might be taking a little longer to make their picks because the limited scouting from last year?
They shouldn't be. They should have all the information right in front of them. So Daniel Chayka is the pick for Vegas, as Ratu just keeps on dropping.
Vegas fan here in Scotland, with Vegas taking a timeout and then trading picks, what could they be trying to do? Is this strategy sensible?
Well, they were working the phone, and they made the trade with Detroit. So the player that they wanted, Chayka, they knew was still going to be there, and they add more in the process. So it's all about getting more draft picks.
You guys are so Canadian, and I love it. You're not only the best hockey news on YouTube, but just a pleasure to watch. Cheers to you both.
I am very Canadian, and I'm sorry. Because I'm Canadian, I will apologize. Because what Canadians do.
It is true.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Okay. What do you think of the Wild's first round?
I think the Wild being able to trade up and get Wallstead, I think is a huge boost for them. Their pipeline for goaltenders, a little bit iffy, but now with Wallstead, that's definitely boosted up. So I think Minnesota made a smart move there.
If you were a GM, what other GM would you be most hesitant to trade with?
Yzerman. If Yzerman were to call me, I would have some issues with answering the phone. I'd probably have his number blocked. And a center to Ottawa, Zach Ostapchuk.
Hey, Vaughn, how are you today? Did you get any NHL jerseys? I haven't got any jerseys for a long time. Yeah. I mostly get hand-me-downs from Shannon. I haven't got new jerseys in a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
But since I don't like the current jerseys in women's, that kind of changed things. I got some of the reverse retros. I think those were the last jerseys that I actually got, were the reverse retros.
Yes. Because Ben sent you the Vegas one, and
yes, I have a few, and then you gave me a few because you got some with names on them.
Yeah.
So then I got some. So.
Because he sent you the gold Vegas, and he sent you the reverse retro Vegas and the reverse retro Jets.
Yes.
Yeah. The reverse retro Jets did not sell. They have 20% off on those right now in Cool Hockey.
Look fun.
And it looks like they still had. Last time I looked, they still had every size.
They could have done that so much cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a fun one. Has Vancouver picked yet?
No, they'll probably trade out of the draft altogether. Yeah, we'll see what they do. Oh God, they might get Ratu. Because they're up after Carolina. Because Carolina's next up.
The reverse retro Jets are for $100 on Adidas. Oh my gosh. So that means they're cheaper than cost.
Yeah, they are.
It costs the store more than that to get the jersey.
Yeah.
So they're losing money on those. That's sad. Because they're not cool looking.
Right. And the Toronto one too is $100 right now.
Yeah, because they don't look cool.
All right, defenseman
I
Scott
could've made 'em
Morrow,
so
Carolina.
much better. Okay.
Vancouver's up next. Let's see if they trade out of the draft altogether.
Are you gonna be able to fit all the rounds on the board?
No, that's why I've got another board
Probably
right here
not.
that has the little magnets on it.
What's Kuznetsov worth on the open market?
Well, it all depends on finding somebody who's going to take his contract too. So it's not just a matter of trading the player; it's the contract. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I would think that you're probably selling low a bit on Kuznetsov too because he did not have a great season. So Vancouver's on the clock now. Ottawa or Carolina just took their pick. Scott Morrow,
A
defenseman.
lot of people asking about the Adurati, why he's dropping. What do you know about him? When's he gonna get picked? There's a gajillion questions.
His talent level was pretty high initially, and he just didn't take that next step. He has not developed the way that they had expected. So it's not a huge surprise that he's fallen. Falling this far surprised me, but other teams, I guess teams are just going, this other player we like better. So yeah, him dropping isn't a surprise. Dropping this far is, though.
Did you guys even sleep? I woke up like 10 minutes before I was on here, so ta-da!
Yeah, I slept maybe 4.5 hours. I think it was 4.5.
That wouldn't work for
And
me.
then I got to play street hockey today too, so
Yeah.
that'll be
You can't
fun.
see cats. There's a kitty right there. Okay. There's a kitty. See, she's happy. That's hers. I hear Shadow's right there. Lily Belt's right there. You'll probably hear them in a second. Mm-hmm. Kitty, stand off.
Hey, Shadow. Stop. Come on.
See, mention the cats. That's right. I wanted to be over there.
What's your problem?
Aw, you sweet kitty. In your opinion, would I be committing a jersey foul if I get my blank reverse retro peyote coyote customized with Beagle?
Not necessarily. I do wonder if. See, there were rumors that Beagle wasn't going to play this year. There were rumors that Beagle had issues that were going to prevent him from playing this year.
Hey, sweetie.
It's not really a foul, no. Because that may end up being their third anyways if they go to the Kachina.
Okay, Shannon, I want to send you a gift for being a literal saint. You are?
Shadow. Now he's running at her.
In the hockey community, you're the man. And yes, you guys are very Canadian. Haha. Bless you too. Lily Bell.
Here.
She really doesn't like them so much.
Here. I'll block him so you can't see him, okay?
Now just go over here. Make sure he's not coming. Gonna lay on my mom's stuff.
Wow. So Danila Klimovich. All right. So Raju continues to fall.
Where do you normally buy your jerseys and hats? Shannon's pretty good at mentioning where he gets his
Jerseys are from, usually if they're new ones, they'll be from Ben H Sports, which is in the description for everything I post. The hats, I get a lot of them through the NHL site or from 47 brand.
They have fun hats.
47 brand is better on the American side of the border than the Canadian side for some reason. It's the same company, but on the Canadian side, they're not as fun as the American hats.
They have way more selection.
Yeah.
And then you don't have
So
to pay
Danila Klimovich is the pick for
Hey,
Vancouver,
Lily
right
Bell.
winger. And Ottawa's back on the clock now.
Hey, Shadow, come on.
Yeah, I don't know where he's trying to go.
Okay.
He's used to be next to me when I do videos and stuff, though. I haven't heard anything about Atkinson to Philly. I'd be kind of surprised if they moved Atkinson.
This is what happens when you have all the cats in one room.
Is Bear upstairs too?
I think she was just on the stairs.
Is she? So Ottawa's on the clock for the second time. Well, no, that's actually their. Yeah, no, second time today.
When does Jet Wu play for the Canucks?
You know, I had hoped that Jet might be ready for this upcoming season, but it doesn't look like that's the case. So it looks like next year would be the earliest.
No, we know you can't read the board. It's tiny. I can't even see what logos are on there.
If I wrote it really big like the other
You
ones,
would
then
have
I need
to-
6 boards.
With how many rounds there's going to be, there would be so many. There would be a lot of boards if you wrote it big enough. So, yeah, you just get to listen to him talk. You're welcome. Didn't this already happen? We're on round 2.
Yeah,
so no,
second
it
round.
hasn't happened yet. Voracek to Columbus.
Not at that price tag. I can't see Columbus taking that on.
Thoughts on the Canucks pick?
I don't really know anything about him, so we'll see how that works out for
The
them.
girls are right here. So him doing all spazzy on the stairs.
Just come here. Just come here.
See, if he moved the board closer to the camera, that would defeat the whole point of us being upstairs, because then we'd still be squished in this tiny space and I wouldn't be able to read the screen, and then you guys would complain about my head being in the way again. So sorry.
Atkinson traded to Philly for Voracek. Well, we'll see how that works out for them. I'm surprised anybody's willing to take on Voracek's contract, though.
Any updates on Reinhardt?
Yeah, Reinhardt's gone to Florida for Vetrano, a first and conditional first, and Devin Levi. But I'll be doing the trade videos after the live stream's done.
Is Ulevi a bust?
No, he's not going to reach the heights that were expected when he was drafted, but he's not a bust.
He just wants her to make that sound. Will we be going to any of the Abbotsford AHL games?
Yes.
Yeah. Of course we will. That's fun. In your opinion, what's the worst pick of the first round? Oh, that's easy. Habs.
I was surprised by the Habs one by a lot, and I will see what the fallout is from that. And then outside of that, I can't say what the best or worst pick is. I don't like doing that. And you always see that after the draft. Well, this was a terrible pick. And then you find out the GM had pretty good information on why to take that pick or why to skip somebody else. So I don't think you can grade picks until you're well out from the draft, like 3 or 4 years out.
No. That's not how that works. Okay. Any chance Audurati falls down to the Leafs?
There's always the chance. I'm surprised he's fallen as far as he has. So he is clearly seen his stock drop precipitously. This has been a major drop off.
Is Capo Caco a bust?
No, it's too early to declare him a bust. He's only after his second year, and he hasn't had a full regular normal 82 game season yet.
The cat looks huge. Is it really that large, or was it an optical illusion? He's a big cat.
He's a big cat.
None of our cats are huge, though people make comments about the cats being huge.
Shadow is a big cat.
He's our longest cat. All the 3 girls are pretty small, like they're pretty petite cats.
Okay, so
we're not
Kings,
very big though, so it makes all animals look larger.
The Kings trade up.
When I was coming up, I saw Sato at the top of the stairs, and he was sticking his tongue out.
So now the Kings have traded up to 42. The Sens trade down.
Okay. My tabby is a long cat. Yes, Shadow is a long cat. And so he looks huge when Shannon picks him up just because he's so long. Will the Blues be a cup contender or move away?
We'll see what they do during the summer. I think that picking up Buchnevich helps, but I don't know that I see them as a contender right now.
Who's your favorite Finnish player?
Favorite Finnish player?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to beat the names of Finnish players. All time it would be Pekka Ratakallio. So seeing there's Elliot Friedman saying there's a Cam Atkinson, Jacob Voracek deal being worked on. So it's not 100% finished yet, according to Elliot Friedman. I would think there'd have to be something else involved. It couldn't just be a 1-for-1. That would really surprise me. That would be a huge win for Philly if it was 1-for-1.
Will Laine resign?
Line probably just takes his qualifying offer and runs. His qualifying offer is $7.5 million. He probably takes that and just then you push the can down the road a year.
Shannon, thank you for all your hard work. You're the hardest working YouTuber I watch. How about a video reviewing the draft from 4 years ago?
The Pedersen draft. Yeah, I mean, I can do something like that. Francesco Pinelli is the pick for the Kings. He was considered to be one of the best out there of the remaining prospects that weren't taken in the first round. So that's a good pickup for the Kings.
Why is Yarmo trading out Atkinson? We love him.
I don't think we know the whole 100% of what's going on and who's coming back. So we'll see. Oh, that's going to be going for a while.
Oh, yep. Here, you can shut the windows and we can turn on the fan. We have a neighbor that has a truck and they like to idle it forever.
For half an hour.
And ever and ever.
Yeah, for about half an hour.
I don't understand what you're. Okay. Why aren't the Devils trading for a top 4 defenseman?
Top 4 defensemen are expensive. It's tough to trade for a defenseman right now. It's expensive. It's pricey. You look at what Carolina got for Jake Bean, and Jake Bean hasn't been a top 4 defenseman yet in the NHL. So it's pricey.
Reinhardt's trade hasn't been called in yet, by the way.
No, but they know what it is. So I'll be able to do those trade videos after the draft is done.
Sure.
I don't intend to do the whole 7 rounds this time either, though.
That took forever. Sharks fan here. Thoughts on William Eklund to San Jose?
That's a good, solid pick. He was supposed to go higher than that. There were even rumors that Buffalo's looking at him at number 1, so that's a good pick. Ilya Fedotov is picked by Arizona.
I know we're in a no idle province, and I have no idea why they do that, and it has to cost so much. Gas is so expensive. I don't even know what they do with the truck. It's like a little tiny semi truck.
It idles.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Okay, so Carolina's on the clock now.
Okay. With Ottawa's 39th pick, that completes the EK65 trade. Safe to say Ottawa won.
Absolutely is safe to say they won that deal. Going away.
And people are still asking about Adirati.
Yeah, he's just he took a nosedive this year, and clearly GMs are not impressed with the scouting reports. I didn't see very many scouting reports that said anything nice about him either. I even saw one that said he saw him in the second, maybe late second round. So there were scouts that had him in the second round.
Followed you since you had 1,000 subs. Thank you for always putting the channel before yourself, even though you shouldn't have to. Go Isles.
Thank you.
Okay, if not Eichel, think the Wild go after another first-line center via FA or trade. If so, who?
First-line centers, you don't normally get those via trade. First-line centers will normally require a lot. And so for Minnesota, this is why when they were talking about
I didn't use my fabric.
when they were talking about fixing the center spot and Guerin let some go, I thought that was a weird strategy because it is tough. It is tough to acquire centers. On the free agent market, I don't think you're going to find a number 1 center. That's why Eichel would be a really popular target. Maybe you could talk to the Flames about Monahan. However, the Flames would likely want a forward back for Monahan. So, it's not going to be easy for Minnesota.
Okay. What's a province? It's similar to our equivalent of states. Kind of. Yeah. It's different divisional lines. Kind of like a state.
Yeah.
Who are the main cup contenders in 2026?
No idea.
Oh, that's quite the who's the next goalie that goes?
There's supposed to be a goaltender that goes in the second round, and the name's escaping me now. There was supposed to be a goaltender who was even seen as potentially being an early second rounder. So it's possible maybe Carolina picks a goalie here at 44.
Not all provinces are big. We have some very small provinces in
PEI.
Canada. Yes.
Ontario. Ontario is a small province.
No.
It's only 45 miles wide. It's amazing that you have that many people.
People think that Canada is small. Oh,
Canada's at least
silly.
300 miles wide.
No. Okay.
Did Carolina trade their pick too?
What are your thoughts on the Red Wings draft?
They've done well.
Another timeout.
Yeah, they've done well. So yeah, Carolina's going to trade that pick.
I just want it to take forever.
Yeah, Carolina's going to trade the pick.
Will Rangers make it to the playoffs next year?
They absolutely can. The Metro Division, though, is tough. The only one that seems to be really kind of disarming themselves is Columbus. But even losing Jones and with the guys they pick up, I don't think Columbus is necessarily completely out of the running. But, yeah, as tough as that division is, the Rangers have a chance.
Canada is the second largest country in the world, right? Yes. You know the song, we're the second largest country on this planet Earth. And if Russia... Okay, I can't be the only one that knows that song, right? My kids know it. Okay.
I've heard it, but I don't remember it.
All right. Is a brand new arena such as UBS and Climate a draw for free agents?
I don't think the arena makes a difference, but the organization and in some cases the nicer arenas will belong to the teams that are better run in some cases. So I don't think the arena necessarily makes a difference. It's kind of a fun bonus if you're going there.
Who will the Jets take at 50?
I have no idea. This draft is so all over the place. I have no idea.
See, some people know the song. Good job. Woohoo. Yes, it is Arrogant Worms. Okay. Yeah, see, okay, there's a bunch of other people that know what I'm talking about. Good. Yay. Please do the entire draft. Can't watch the awful Sportsnet coverage.
They don't do the whole draft, though.
They change it to other stuff, and then they just have it scrolling on the side.
Yeah, they don't do the entire draft. And then I'm left with boards upon boards upon boards, and yeah.
What should the Rangers do this offseason?
Well, they've already started doing it. But Buchnevich, they moved on from. That's a restricted free agent they don't have to worry about. They added Blaine, which is a little bit more grit in the lineup. I don't think they have to do a lot. I think they're in pretty good shape right now. It's just a matter of their star players taking that next step. Lafreniere is a huge part of that.
Favorite teams, goal horn and post song.
I like Dallas's goal song. I don't really care about the horns. I don't have a consideration.
My phone mixes up the goal horns quite frequently.
I don't really have a consideration.
I don't think they care either.
Nah.
Oh, it just skipped. Where was I? Is Eichel good for the Kings?
Is who good for the Kings?
Eichel.
I mean, they're in on him. Apparently, they're up there. Anaheim's in on him as well. There are a few others. I mean, the Kings would probably be a pretty good fit. And then if you're Buffalo, then you've traded him to the West. If you trade him to the West, you're better off.
I don't like Chicago's goal song. It's kind of obnoxious, isn't it?
I think it gets stuck in your ear. That's the point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've had that for over a decade, and that's kind of why it's the way it is. I know, Shadow. You know.
Atkins Voracek trade done. Details to come.
Yeah, they haven't finalized what else might be involved yet that I've seen.
Should the Sens make a move for Strome to add to their top? I don't know where it went. Something. Oh, defense, right? I think so.
Strom.
I don't know where it went. So
I mean the Sens might be making some moves here and there, but the Sens, I don't think the expectations
top
necessarily.
six.
Yeah, I don't think they're necessarily looking playoffs yet. So, I mean, maybe you make that move. I don't know if you'd need the owner to sign off on that because of the contract involved.
Did you enjoy Minnesota's draft yesterday? Yes, goalie. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the question's for you though.
Yeah, no, Wallstead was a good pick. That was a good value pick. He was available that low. Did a lot of drafts. The lowest I saw him in any draft was like 12th or 13th. So yeah, they did really well.
Love the content. Who's the steal of the draft so far?
It may very well end up being Dylan Guenther, who went at 9 yesterday for Arizona. I just, everything I saw with Guenther, he was projected as high as third or fourth. So the fact that he went at 9th could end up being a steal of a deal.
Islanders mascot Sparky makes no sense.
It's a dragon, though. Dragons are fun.
There goes the truck.
No,
What?
he's just going to park.
No, it's not going. They're just going to park in front of our house instead of be in their driveway. Or are they going to repark it over and over and over? Because they like to do that too.
Maybe. And there you go. All right. Alexei Hamos-Salmi is drafted by Carolina. So I guess that timeout didn't work for them and they just picked the guy anyways.
Voracek may have a bigger cap hit, but he is younger, a more consistent producer, and his remaining term is shorter.
So Alexei Hamos-Salmi, a defenseman, is drafted by...
Just kick cardboard in the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds about right. So
Just
Carolina...
leaving the truck running.
Yeah.
And leaving it there in front of our house.
Yeah.
Why do they do this? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could understand if there was a reefer on it, if it was a refrigerated truck. That's what you call the refrigeration unit. That's what they call it.
That's silly. No, that's not what that means.
We would say, did you turn the reefer on?
Okay. Thoughts on Zach Bolduc?
Bolduc.
Right. That's right. And the St. Louis trade.
Bolduc, I think, is a decent pick. Again, this year's draft is not considered to be one that is filled with stars. The trade they made yesterday with the Rangers, good deal for them. I like Buchnevich.
Okay.
You're not throwing stuff all over, are you? Because it looks like you are.
Some guy on Twitter was saying Dallas sending Klingberg hints and picks for Eichel.
Yeah, no, I can't see that. Got to watch the rumors this time of year. The rumors get ridiculous.
True.
Did Calgary trade
I
too?
hate Gritty. He was a distraction for a mediocre team. Gritty's awesome.
Okay, William Stromgren drafted by Calgary.
Who did the Canucks trade?
Who did they trade?
Yeah, that's what it says.
The only trade I know was the one from yesterday where they acquired Ekman Larson and Garland, and they gave up all their bad contracts to make it work. William Stromgren, who is a left winger to Calgary at 45. So now Philadelphia's on the clock. We'll see if they actually pick.
What do you see happening with Tarasenko?
At this point, it doesn't sound like the value is where St. Louis wants it to be. So maybe Tarasenko just stays in St. Louis.
He just went to put gloves in the truck now.
Mm-hmm.
You just leave it running and walk away.
Yep.
Bye. Leave your truck parked in front of our house.
Yeah. Idling.
Bye.
See, at least now you can time how long it idles. We're up to what?
Gosh.
20 minutes?
Whoa, clean room, no jerseys.
No, there's no hockey in the rest of the house. The hockey is all restricted to my room.
Normal house. Atkins versus Voracek, 1-for-1. There's a bunch of people saying that.
Yeah, that's a good deal for Philly. Because I like Atkinson. If I was, asked, okay, you got to take one of these guys, I would probably take Atkinson.
Do you think the Habs drafting Mailloux is a fireable offense?
It's not fireable. It's a PR nightmare.
It makes the team look really bad.
It's a PR. It's a PR nightmare.
That wouldn't be like one person that decided that. So it makes the team.
That's the scouts. The scouts
really
make that
bad.
recommendation, and they made the decision that that's who they were going to pick. And again, in a draft like this one, I'm kind of surprised you make that pick in the first round. They could have got away with it if they'd done it today, in say the second or third round. They probably could have done it the second or third round. And if somebody else takes him in the second, oh well. There are other picks that were out there, so we'll see.
Discovered your channel during Canadians run. Thanks, native Montrealer. Taught at UWSP when Cole's father, Paul, became all-time scoring leader.
Nice.
That's fun. Okay. Well, of course, the Habs are getting all kind of hate on social media. That's what happens when you hire somebody like that.
Yep.
It makes your team look really bad.
So Finland, out of Finland, Philadelphia selects Samu Tuomala, right winger.
Don't be jealous of Gritty. Gritty is great. I know he's annoying to some people, but I think Gritty is great.
Dallas has the next 2 draft picks.
Wonder if there's any retention from the Flyers.
There should be. There should be. I don't know if there is or not, but there should be.
Who did the Golden Knights get?
The Golden Knights drafted Daniel Chayka. Chayka was actually seen as a guy who might have gone late in the first round. So they got a decent player in the second round. And so, Vegas generally does pretty well at the draft. I think what hurts Vegas is they're always a good team, so they don't get the chances at the really top-notch prospects.
Has Reddy gone yet?
Nope, we're up to 47. He hasn't gone yet. He has to go to Dallas, right? You would think, because Dallas has the next 2 picks.
A lot of questions about him still, why he's still there.
Teams don't like him. There are other prospects that like more than Ratu. You
guys tuning into any Olympic events between hockey stuff?
I watched some of the biking last night.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
They have
I don't know
volleyball was on today, so I watched a little bit of the volleyball before this started.
Yeah, we won't have very much time today.
Not too bad. No, not
today, but we do usually watch quite a bit of the Olympics because they're fun.
Center Logan Stankoven. Nice. So Dallas picks up a center.
Dallas is back-to-back. No way they don't take him.
Well, maybe because they just drafted Stankoven at 47, so they've got the next one. And he was one that might have gone in the first round too. Oh, I see. He's 5'8". That's why Stankoven dropped, because he's 5'8". I don't even have to look at any of the reports. Teams will pass on shorter players, especially a center. So Dallas will work their magic with him, is my guess.
Where do you think Hoffman ends up?
Well, now that they've picked up Buchnevich, Hoffman can go. He's going to be a 20-goal winger wherever he ends up.
What an unfortunate name.
It's a great hockey name.
Stankoven. Not Stankoven.
I like Stankoven better. It's better.
I'm probably slaughtering his name.
Probably. But Hoffman, really, we are not going to know where these guys are going to go until the 28th. Because teams can't talk to them. We used to have the period of time where free agents were allowed to talk to teams prior to the free agency being opened up. They're not allowed to do that anymore. So it's all kind of speculation on any of it. Artem Grushnikov, defenseman, is the next pick for Dallas. So they keep both picks, and Ratu is still there.
There you go. What's going on with the Reinhardt deal? It's taking forever.
Just trying to work out what the conditions are, is my guess, on the draft pick. Okay, so Ottawa is up again.
Somebody says, ready to the Leafs.
Well, we're getting closer
Down
to
there,
them.
yeah.
We're down to 49th, but again, it
The
shows.
Leafs have not picked yet.
No.
Like she cares.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah. So Ottawa's up next, and then Winnipeg. Carolina's up again after that, and then the Islanders. Carolina definitely went in on the idea of get as many picks as possible, and then you'll hit on one of them.
Love to see you play GM mode on the NHL video game.
We'll probably do one of those during the summer, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, are they going to move the truck? Oh, people getting in it. What about Seattle? Kraken draft picks?
Seattle drafted Riker Evans in the second round. All right, so the Sens drafted defenseman Ben Roger.
Okay. Did you touch on the Atkinson trade?
Not really, and I'm going to get into that when I do videos after the draft's done. I'll get into that. I'm kind of surprised that it was a 1-for-1 deal, but I guess Columbus really wanted to shake things up, so you trade out Jones, now you trade out Atkinson. That'll definitely shake things up.
LOL, play on the truck. This happens so frequently in the morning.
Every day.
When Shannon wants to make videos, we've got this big old truck that likes to idle right outside. And sometimes he parks in a driveway, like backs in, and so it keeps doing the beeping. And he'll just, I don't know if he's doing a 20-point turn or what, but and so it totally throws off Shannon's video. It's so obnoxious.
I've had videos that are delayed half an hour.
Parked idling right outside.
So I'll get a couple of boards done and then just stand there for half an hour waiting for the truck to go.
It's so obnoxious.
It can be, yeah. So Winnipeg's up next at 50th. Still, Ratu watch. He's still on the board.
What are your thoughts on Montreal drafting Melia?
Talked about earlier. It's a PR nightmare.
It looks really bad.
It does look bad.
And I see people defending the boy. Okay, yes, I get it. He's young. He can change. It's recent. He never apologized.
She got a 2-sentence text. Kind of a whoops. Like, it's not. And then think
about it from any kind of other employer.
And him and his agent
you don't
have
hire
both
somebody
tried
like
to
that.
badmouth the girl.
And
so it's like, okay.
And how he talks about this whole thing afterwards, it makes the team look really bad. Yeah. If it was any other job, okay, hiring this guy that did this, it makes you look bad. It makes you look like it's not a problem.
I don't know if you went into a normal job and they found that out. I don't know that you could get that normal job.
No.
I think they'd go, when did this happen?
He didn't apologize, actually. He said he's sorry that it happened. So that's quite different. But no. And then talking about how she was just trying to ruin his career.
That's part of how he ended up on the do not draft list of about 11 teams, because it wasn't the contrition you're looking for from that kind of thing.
What's your thoughts on the Bruins drafting Lysell?
That's a steal. Fabian Lysell is a steal at 20. I am very excited to see what he can do for Boston. I'm very happy about that.
Somebody says he's sorry he got caught. Right. That's what that apology is. It's not sorry he did it.
Yeah.
It's sorry he's getting in trouble for it.
Yeah.
It makes the team look really bad, especially right now. Do you think there is any way the Sharks can get a better goalie, or are they going to be stuck with Jones for a while?
Well, I mean, unless they try to buy out Jones, I would imagine that they'll try to make a trade. I don't think there's a trade market for Jones right now. They protected Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill's a half decent goaltender. Give him a shot, and then try to pick up somebody in free agency, and then just roll with it. They're probably going to be stuck with Jones though, unless they buy him out.
Yeah, shout out to those 11 teams. To me, that's crazy that it was only 11 teams. That's
because teams generally don't care.
Right. No, a job would know because he was actually charged. So yes, if it was a regular
and it's
job,
also
they would still
yes.
know. You
and then
have to.
It's one of those things where
information.
if I go in for an interview and I don't disclose that, and then they find out later that happened, they can fire me for not having disclosed that information before they hired me.
Do you think the Pens could get ratty?
I don't know how far he's going to drop. He could drop to almost anybody at this point. Clearly, he is not a popular pick. They don't see him as an NHLer.
Yeah, if somebody says a background check, right? If you have an employer that does a background check, absolutely.
And
but it's something when you fill out your resume, there's actually a spot for that.
My employer had one. You had to fill that information out, and there were times where we would have somebody on work, and we'd be like, "So this guy passed a check, how?" And they'd be out. So, yeah, that does happen at regular jobs.
Did you notice all the Sens picks are jumped giant kids?
You're going to see, it's funny because Seattle, all the guys they picked are big. Their defense is 6'3" on average. We're back into that again, where you're picking the big players. The tall, big players are now back in vogue.
That's not sexting. That's not what happened at all. So we're not talking about something between a couple or friends even. Mm-hmm. That's not what happened. Mm-hmm. He took pictures of her in compromising positions and shared those with her name on it. So it wasn't sent to her. It wasn't between the two of them. It was him sharing images of her that he took to other people,
his buddies,
with her name on it.
Hey guys, check this out. And you're not allowed to do that.
Very different than sexting, which would be consensual between two people.
Right.
Very different. Are there any NHL teams who have caught the case of Marlinitis, where they tank mainly for the sake of tanking, besides being decent before?
Not really. I mean, obviously, Arizona looks like they're stripping things down. You could argue that Columbus looks like maybe they are as well. There's going to be a case where teams are looking forward to next year's draft at Shane Wright, right? Because Shane Wright is supposed to be the best one in the draft since McDavid. But because of the draft lottery being as it is, full-on tank doesn't really work because the best you can guarantee yourself is third. Okay, Nikita Chibrikov is the pick for Winnipeg. That's not bad because he was seen as a first rounder on some of the boards I saw too. So that's not bad at all.
Hockey talk, love it. Yesterday you were speaking Canadian. 26 is hot, or 28. America, just a small hillbilly redneck who loves THG.
Okay, so
yes, the argument is I think 26 is hot. Shannon thinks 28 is hot. Isn't it supposed to be like 29 today?
29 today.
So that means it's hot for both of us.
And then it's supposed to be in the 30s for the rest of the week. So
that's awful.
When I do videos for the rest of this week, I'll have to do them early.
We're going to be melting.
Well, not melting. It's not 45.
That's
to me,
just
to me that was hot. Everything
that
after that was not bad.
Just got here, so you might have talked about it, but what do you think of Voracek going back to Columbus?
I'm surprised they gave up Atkinson to do it. That kind of surprises me because I thought Voracek was okay for Philly. There's a writer in Philly that'll be very happy that he got traded, but it's okay.
They're vacuuming with the leaf blower, or they leaf blowing in the cab of the truck?
Yep. That is absolutely what
Sounds
they're
like a
doing.
fun morning. A leaf blower and a truck idling.
Uh-huh.
This is why we had to shut all the windows.
So
This
next
is so
up-
weird. He's leaf blowing the inside of his truck.
Next up, they'll
It's
put
idling.
firecrackers in there, and
They could just have it going in reverse while he's leaf blowing the cab of the truck while it idles. This is so weird.
they could have cleaned out the truck
Spoke a
without
little soon,
idling it.
lol. Not hockey talk. Why is it idle? It's not like it's winter and they need to warm up the engine or nah. Okay. Bergman about to sign D'Angelo. Ha ha ha.
That's actually been a rumor that Montreal is going to sign D'Angelo.
No
as soon
power
as he hits
washer.
Okay, Ville Koivunen goes to Carolina, right winger. Ville Koivunen,
Mhm.
meaning the Islanders are now on the clock.
Wasn't Chebrikov supposed to go in the first round?
Yes, there was definitely boards that had him in the first round, and he slipped all the way down to, what was that, 50th? Yeah, 50th? Yes. And now we're up to the Islanders.
What are your thoughts on the Makar extension?
Well, I mean, it's less money than Seth Jones got. So right there, you look at it. Makar's a fantastic defenseman. Whether you look at it from a normal statistical point of view, whether you look at it from an advanced stats, he is an elite, one of the best defensemen in the league type guys. So yeah, it's a good move by Colorado.
For a check to Blue Jackets, good trade.
I kind of like the deal for Philly, but I'll do a video on it after.
You would definitely be able to hear the truck if we opened the windows.
Oh, yes.
It's right outside our house.
Yes.
Are the Senators' young talent overhyped? Will our cheap owner keep them?
There's some really good talent in Ottawa, and I think as soon as this coming season, we're going to start to see them moving up the standings. It'll be tough because that division is pretty loaded, but I think Ottawa's going to surprise some people.
Somebody fire Holland, please. They gonna back up now? They want to repark
Sounded like it, didn't
or
it? Oh,
they're leaving.
Are they going?
Here they go. Bye bye. Now we can open our windows up again because yes. How long till Detroit wins a playoff series?
Oh, playoff series? Well, they got to get back to the playoffs first. I think they're probably 2 years out from making it back to the playoffs. I'll say 3 or 4 years. So the Islanders draft Ratu at 52nd overall.
Here we go.
So yeah, center R2 Ratu. He ends up going to the Islanders. Now Buffalo's on the clock.
Just a reminder, THG is cute. I know, right?
So Buffalo's up next.
Nice.
Still in the second round, and it's now almost 9:30.
Channel your American side and tell your neighbors to stop backing into your driveway. I don't think Shannon even has an American side, so he could channel his like Newfie side. He can definitely do that.
Newfie side.
He definitely can. He can. It's funny.
Yes. All right, so Buffalo's up next. We'll see who they pick.
Thoughts on Kings draft so far? Okay, I'm gonna go grab
Brent Clark was a good pick. Francesco Pinelli sounds like he should be a good pick too, because he was on a lot of drafts. He was in the first round, but this is what happens, right? This is a wild card type draft. This is where we're going to start seeing names of guys that we haven't heard of, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Mhm. Who'd want to fight a grilled cheese or a taco? Grilled cheese has more mass to it if you make it properly. I would say the grilled cheese would win. Unless it's a fully loaded taco, and then probably the taco. Is Robertson gone? No.
Yeah, I'm Marty. I'm good now.
Do I think Costa will be as good as Wallstead? It's really a 50-50 at this point. There were some scouts that liked Costa better. We'll find out.
Okay. How good is Coronado?
Coronado is potentially, again, a very good top 6 man to being top 9 forward. Calgary picking him it wasn't off the board. He could have been there a little bit later, but I do like the pick for Calgary. I was kind of hoping he would drop to a team I cheered for.
Who is the best still available?
No idea. As I said, this draft is so all over the place that
It really is.
Alexander Kisakov is taken by Buffalo at 53. He's a left winger. And next up is Minnesota.
He's sleeping. Hi,
Oh, always. That's her spot.
And Shadow's right where we can trip on him. Because that's what he does.
Jack Pert, drafted by Minnesota.
Are the Blues contenders this year?
I don't see them as like Stanley Cup contenders, like top 5 or anything. But I mean, they won the cup in 2019, so they make the playoffs. You don't want to write them off, but I don't think they're as close as they were.
If you had to pick your prediction for next year's Stanley Cup champion, who would it be?
I'll stick with the Avs. And the Avs right now are the team that's most being picked to win the cup next year. So that would be my pick.
What does Calgary need to do to get back to their winning ways?
For the Flames, it feels like there's something with the core that's the problem, that there's something just not quite right with the core of the team. And so you have to figure out which player it is, or whether it's a coaching thing or a training thing, what it is that's causing that issue with the team. Because a couple of years ago, of course, they were number 1 in the West, but it's just fallen off so badly for them. So it's a matter of figuring out exactly who the issue is. And then I think they should be back there. They've got the goaltending and they've got the defense. Vincent Iorio to Washington.
Is this the worst draft class we've seen in a while?
I don't like to say worst, but it's not considered to be one that has a lot of big future stars in it. I mean, you can look back to 99 and 2000 for technically bad draft classes. But it's not seen as being as star-studded, especially as next year. Next year's supposed to be absolutely loaded. Florida's up next on the clock.
Your videos are superb. All the best from the UK.
Thank you very much.
Thoughts on the McCarr deal?
As I've been saying, he makes less money than Seth Jones. That's to me, that's crazy. So, I mean, Colorado did pretty well for themselves, and now somewhere Quinn Hughes has got to be smiling about how much money he might get from Vancouver.
What do the Blues need to change to contend?
It's just a matter of Binnington's got to get back to where he was in his rookie season, and they just need to have that elite defense that they had in 2019. They need to be able to sustain that, and I mean, obviously the guys on the back end, there's been some changes there, so it is tough.
What are your thoughts on the players the Predators took in round 1?
For Nashville, Svechkov is fantastic. Elite level defensively. Their other pick in the first round, Oh, was the LaRue. LaRue is a good pick as well. Solid. So Florida picks up Evan Nas, defenseman.
What kind of tea do I have today? It's a coconut tea. It's like it's iced tea I made in the fridge. So generally when I do that, it's a herbal tea.
Toronto's on the clock.
So, yeah. Are you really going through round 7?
No.
Didn't we? I'm thinking last year, didn't we do like first 3? So, well,
I'm
2,
probably
3, 4.
gonna do. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do like 3. Go through round 3 and
I'm
then.
thinking that's what we did last year. I could be wrong. After that, it just starts going so fast on there.
And it just becomes kind of noise at that point too.
And people don't really care at that point.
Yes.
Because they're people that we haven't heard of.
Yeah.
So, what does Dubas do here?
Obviously, it's going to be best player available. I'm kind of hoping he picks a goaltender since there was supposed to be a goaltender in the second round. I think that would be solid for Toronto if they were to get the third-rated goaltender. Because again, I'm trying to think of what the name was of it, but there was supposed to be a third goaltender that was supposed to go early in the second round.
Was Stillman too much of a stretch at 29 when most had him 40th to 70th?
Because of the way that this draft is set up and because of how close everybody was from 3 through 9 and then how much of a crapshoot it is after that, you just take who you believe is the best player available. No 2 teams are going to have the same draft lists right now.
Somebody says you have a clickbait title. What's your title?
Live reaction to the draft.
How would that be clickbait?
I don't have any idea.
I'm confused. Avs player keep taking lower than market price contracts to stay there. Do you think Landy will do the same?
If Landeskog continues to demand $9 million, then no, that to me would not be below market value. So he'd have to come down off of that.
Can I start the rumor Tarasenko goes to Russia?
You can start the rumor.
Oh, it says round 2 through 7 on it.
That wouldn't be. I can change it after.
It's not people be like, oh, he's covered round 6. Awesome. And it's a live stream, so.
And then I can just change the title of it after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not what clickbait is.
No.
How do the Flyers look for this year?
They're not done yet, but I do like the moves they've made. Atkinson is a good addition, and so yeah, I think it's a good move.
What will Quinn Hughes sign for after Makar signed for $9 million?
I think Quinn Hughes realistically can demand 8. I think he can demand and get $8 million a year.
Everyone knows round 6 is a nail biter.
Especially in this year's draft. It's kind of...
Yeah, we did a live stream one year where we kept on going and people really start just dropping off because it's really long and they're guys that are very likely to not actually play.
Okay, so Matthew Knies goes to...
it happens, but...
Goes to Toronto. On Hockey Prospect, they had Knies in the first round. So that could end up being a huge pick for them. Smart pick. And Pittsburgh's up next.
Pitlick a good fit in Calgary?
Yeah, he's a solid bottom 6 guy. I like Pitlick. I had wished that Dallas had kept him when they had him.
They're taking way too long for round 2.
They are.
Agreed.
They are. This is longer than round 2 took a couple years ago. When it was in person, it was not this long.
Yeah. Oh,
they're definitely drawing it out.
It's obnoxious. Do you think Winnipeg makes any moves today?
I mean, they may make moves that aren't necessarily related to the draft, but I think today's moves, I think it's possible. This year's trade market is so unpredictable. Nobody had Voracek going for Atkinson. For all the rumor sites everywhere, I never saw anything about Atkinson for Voracek anywhere. So it's very unpredictable.
The NHL likes to drag it out.
Yes.
Apparently, yesterday was awful.
Yes.
Do the Oilers Hyman deal, or does the Oilers Hyman deal get done soon?
Apparently, it's all set up. It's just Toronto hasn't reached an agreement about sending his rights to Edmonton, which is weird because it's like a yard sale. Either I have to get something for this, or I'm going to give it away. So I don't know. Take a seventh and just trade his rights over to Edmonton. But if they don't, then there's a 7-year deal that's set up as well. Tristan Bros goes to Pittsburgh at center. So there's another Tristan to go with Jerry.
Who do you think the top 3 in Central could be?
It's almost impossible to pick right now, but Colorado would be obviously the pick for number 1. If Kaprizov stays in Minnesota, they should be in the top 3, and maybe Dallas has that bounce back, but it's probably going to be St. Louis.
Were there bunnies yesterday? Yeah, the bunnies joined us for most of the live stream yesterday.
Yeah.
For a long time, they laid on the
Today they're outside because it's still relatively cool out,
and it's supposed to get hot.
So
they're enjoying grass while they can.
Yes.
Opinions on the Rangers next year.
The Rangers are going to be in contention for a playoff spot. I think they can make the playoffs, but we'll see how it works out.
Best prospect pool of any team at the moment?
I'll say Kings.
As a Sabres fan, do you think Devin Levi stacks up to the first round goalie selected after the WJs? Well, yeah, okay. He is rumored part of the Reinhart deal.
He played for Carton Place, and he was kind of under the radar in his draft year. Absolutely a steal of a draft pick. And yeah, I mean, he looked good for Team Canada at the World Juniors last year. I think that it's a decent pickup, and you need to have depth in goal. So at the very least, he should be able to make it to the NHL. He definitely has the drive. He's already shown that he's an overachiever.
Hang in there, Yvonne. Thanks for sacrificing your time. Also, thanks for your understanding while Shannon puts in long hours all the time. Thank you. I'm mostly understanding.
Mostly.
Sometimes when we go on holiday, I would like him to turn it down a little bit, but Shannon doesn't have a turn down button.
Nope.
He really doesn't. And sometimes he'll say things. I'm like, oh, Shannon, that means you're just going to go overdo it, aren't you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What number would you be in the NHL?
13.
Columbus needs a center.
Yeah, they do. They have some young guys coming up who can play center. They'll definitely be in the market for a center come July 28th. We'll see what they do. But yeah, they definitely could use another center. Did they call a timeout?
I was just going to say, did they just do another timeout? Because it's obnoxious. Okay, what do you think they will pay for Nurse's contract?
Nurse's asking price went up with the contracts we've seen signed over the last couple of days. Nurse, you have to think is going to be at least $7.5 million, at least $7.5 million, maybe $8 million.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Timeout. Why are there so many timeouts?
No.
Luke Hughes, pick more about talent or marketing?
Mix of both. Luke Hughes, you can argue in favor or against that pick. I think it's going to work as a marketing move, but he can play. He's definitely a top player in this draft. And, you know, if him and Jack play well together, that could be a lot of fun.
Holland wrecking Edmonton like he did Detroit.
I don't know if he's wrecking it, but it is interesting to see the moves he's making. I don't think he's done with the roster yet. We'll see what other moves he's going to make.
What do the Jets need to do this off season to be a serious contender?
I don't think they're that far off. So as long as they don't overcorrect, it's the blue line. And I think they know that they need to fix their blue line. I think they could use 2 top 6 defensemen, one of them being a top 4. And I think that's going to be the focus.
Is it possible with scouting and tech in today's world that a Hull, Datsuk, Bondra, you get the point, I'd say a Gilmore type considered too small?
I'm surprised at how often we're seeing guys drop in the draft because they're smaller. And yet you look at the teams that win Stanley Cups, and very often they're bigger teams. There are definitely teams that are passing on players due to their height, due to their size, and it does come back to bite them later in enough cases. You would think with Caulfield, DeBrincat, and others, you would think they'd learn, but even this draft, a couple have dropped that I think is due to their size.
Is the NHL the worst ran sports of the top 4?
No.
And why?
No. I think football has a long way to go. I think basketball's. I think the NBA is probably the best run of the 4. I think the NBA is probably the best run of the 4. Major League Baseball, it has its ups and downs. We'll see what happens this coming year because baseball is likely headed for a lockout next year. So if that happens, we'll see what happens from there.
Thank you so much. This channel is amazing. You do such a great job. Montreal fan here, disgusted and couldn't have chosen a worse pick. With everything going on, why would they make such a choice?
The timing seems...
The timing is really bad.
Yeah.
I was on our Discord last night. I was on the hockey lobby and the Canadians because I had to make sure things stayed good. And that's really the general consensus. Hab fans are really irritated. They're really upset that this is the direction their team is deciding to take. And that would be really, really irritating.
Yeah.
Are the Devils a couple FA signings away from playoff contention, or is it all about Hughes, Heischer, Ty Smith, Blackwood panning out?
As long as Heischer can stay healthy, and if Hughes takes that next step, which he should, they're going to be in contention. That division is tough, but New Jersey should be in contention. I love Blackwood. Blackwood's one of the best young goalies in the league, so they have all the pieces you need. It's just a matter of having the right supporting cast.
Just noticed Arizona's using a Kachina logo for the draft graphic. Guess that confirms they're going with it full time.
I got Kachina magnets for goal magnets because they're going to the Kachina full time. I got that information months ago that they were going to do away with the other one. We're going to have a white Kachina this year too, which means the Space Coyote could end up being the third.
You wouldn't be able to read the board even if you weren't on your phone. I can't read the board on our screen. I think the only way you'd be able to read it is maybe if you put it on the TV. So
what I did
the purpose isn't so that you can read the board.
What I did last year was that I took pictures of the board after and posted them on my Instagram. So
other than using a ton of boards, there's really not a way to make it so that you guys would be able to see it. We'd have to have a board per round. And that'd be a lot of boards.
They're doing live editing.
That'd be obnoxious.
Software do live editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People want us to do that frequently.
I know.
Pass.
She lost 15 pounds on noon. She must have been the same
15.
size. She's
nice. Do the Sens compete for a playoff spot this year?
Yes. Yes, they will. I think the Sens will be in the hunt. They have a lot of good young players, and I think it's really just a matter of having a full 82 games and avoiding injury.
So will Yarmo be in Abbey this year?
In Abbey this year?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I
don't know yet. I don't know if he'll be in Abbey or not.
Half-Life 3 might drop before the right hard details.
This is true.
What What happened to the Lincoln cousins? Oh, you guys don't need to encourage
They're
him.
twin cousins. So there's the egg shedding that takes place.
No, there's no egg shedding. Oh my gosh.
Sure there is.
That sounds
Haven't you ever
awful.
had that problem?
That's
between
kinda
girls?
personal. No.
Between girls?
I mean, I know movies show that girls do weird things when we're together, but I don't
It does.
think
It does happen. It does
It's
happen.
not. No, I think those movies
Oh,
are made
Dominic
by people
Bach.
are
When's
never
Bach
around
coming
women.
over?
Since the brothers are uniting on teams like New Jersey, Chicago, is it time for the Leafs to trade for Alex Nylander?
I would pass on Alex Nylander at this point. I really would. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to end up being an NHL level player.
Will you buy NHL 22 just to have Seattle in the game?
I'm leaning towards passing on getting the next NHL game. I'm not excited about it. I haven't looked into a pre-order on it or anything. I'm kind of leaning towards just passing on it because they're just basically roster updates. Okay, so Carolina traded the picks and now LA's on the board. Oh, this is going to take days, weeks, months. And what drives me nuts is, again, all these teams know what they're doing. They know who they're going to pick, and they're just drawing it out. They're just making it as long as
It's
possible.
not like they try and decide once it's their team. Oh, it's our team. Who do we want? Be obnoxious.
They've got all those draft sheets. They've got it all figured out. They're drawing it out as much as they humanly can. So
What-
Carolina gets a third and a fourth round pick in exchange for the number 59 pick.
What round are we in?
Second. We are still in the second round, and it's
So
been
that
2
means
hours.
the second round has taken 2 hours. I mean, the first round took 4, so we're speeding up.
But they keep going back to the desk for these guys to talk. And it's like, okay, come on, guys. It's the second round in a draft that's not seen as being very deep. So we don't need a whole bunch of analysis on all this. We don't need to take 5 minutes for the picks.
But they took so much time. Look at they've got
Because 2 years ago,
stickers on their
when
laptops.
it was a live in-person draft 2 years ago, it was fast. It was fast. So LA, Samuel Hellenius, it was getting to the point where I couldn't keep up on the board because of how fast they were drafting them.
Shannon, with all the prospects on defense in Edmonton and Bear and Bouchard, what trade would you make to make better defense?
I don't know how much more. I mean, they lose Larson, so they should be in on David Savard when he becomes available. I think they need a shutdown defenseman, and I think past that, I think as long as Bouchard and Broberg are ready, they should be okay. But they definitely need one more shutdown defenseman.
Where does Tampa rank in your favorites next year?
For a Stanley Cup, I would say they have to be top 5. Almost, it doesn't even. I don't even know that it matters what they do with free agency. They're going to be one of the favorites because of the back-to-back cups. Mm-hmm. So Arizona's on the board again. If they take the pick, or if they take 10 minutes to trade it to a team that trades it again, or whatever they do.
Who's the kid we're ignoring in the background? That's our youngest. I'm pretty sure she's ignoring us quite equally as she sits there and kind of sings to herself.
Mm-hmm.
And dee dee dee. Yeah, that's our youngest.
I'm playing with my kitties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now go that way. Oh, she was warm. Are you warm too? Your thoughts on the Kings off season? But my hands are cold.
Kings off season's gone pretty well so far. They've done well at the draft table. So now it's just a matter of making the right trades to get things better for next year. I do like the Kings' future, though. I think with the Pacific Division, they should be in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Sean agreed. 94 Sega NHL, the best game ever. I was always the Penguins. Not a fan either.
For me, the NHL games peaked in NHL 2006. Was the one in NHL 2007. I played that one for years because it was the last one available on the PS2. So I just played that one for years. I would just do my own roster updates.
How do you think Lysell will do in Boston?
Well, he's at least a year out, but from everything I saw in the scouting reports, he should fit in just fine. He should be a good top 6 winger when he's ready.
I'm kind of confused by Ottawa's pick. I guess PD wants to trade for a top 6 center later. That's the best explanation I can come up with.
I mean, it's possible. They like Boucher. They picked Boucher. They like Boucher. Ottawa's got a ton of good young players. So really, it's a matter of having the right veterans and looking for a bounce back here from Dadonov as well. What are you doing? Stop chewing your fur.
I know. I don't know why
Stop
she's
chewing your
doing
fur.
it. Maybe she's hot. I need less fur. Favorite beer? None of them.
None of them. Yeah,
Root
I don't
beer.
have a favorite beer.
No, I think I prefer ginger beer, but actual beer is gross. So,
Colorado.
how do you think the Stars are going to address their second pair on defense with the departure of Rigg?
It may be a matter of looking from within. Maybe Harley will be ready. So just don't overreact.
There's a weird noise in our bedroom. Why are you in our bedroom?
Sean Behrens is picked by
That's creepy.
Colorado.
Can you reassure all my fellow chess fans that are calling the season over already because we traded Ned not to worry? The management clearly has a plan.
Yeah, it's not done just without Nedeljkovic. It's so weird because a year ago Nedeljkovic was regarded as maybe he makes it, maybe he doesn't. He probably going to be a backup at some point in the NHL. He had a very good run, excellent season, but is he irreplaceable? No, I think he can be replaced. Absolutely. So there's no reason to panic yet. I mean, if they trade Aho, then you can think about it.
Okay. Arriving late to your chat, I'm seeing comments about Makar signing and what that means for Landeskog. Come to St. Louis, we'll show you some love.
Yeah, it means there's less money for Landeskog. If Landeskog's looking for $9 million plus, well, they're not going to pay him the same as they're going to pay Makar. So he'd have to come down off that demand.
That makes more sense. I was confused about it.
I answered it as a Kane, from a Kane's perspective.
I didn't know what it was talking about. Thoughts on the Ducks drafting off season so far?
Well, I mean, you get McTavish in the first round. Second round, they get Zellweger. I'll look into Zellweger. I'm going to do prospect videos once the draft's done. I think that honestly, McTavish is a decent pick.
You gonna make a video on what's next for Chara?
I mean, I can talk about it, but until we know his plans, it's really just going to be pure speculation.
Was the Leafs pick a Hyman replacement?
Well, by picking as late as they did, Knies is supposed to be a good player. He's supposed to be a solid prospect, but yeah, I mean he's likely going to come up and play. You would think probably 2 years down the road. So Colton Dach does get drafted by Chicago. No surprise there.
Will you ever do a career video on Gabe Lincoln?
I might. That might be a good one to do on April 1st. The career of Gabe Lincoln.
Man,
So
this pick
Montreal's
is taking forever. I know. Oh, there you go. Wait. Is Blackhawks next?
No,
Oh,
Blackhawks
that
just
one.
picked.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought.
And then Montreal's got 2 in a row. And then that'll be one round done in just over 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So that would mean that 12 hours
2
to do the other
down,
6
5
rounds.
to go.
Yeah, it'd be 12 hours for the other 6 rounds.
All right. Get used to standing here.
We would miss the meetup and it would be nighttime.
We'd be so exhausted. And
Like I know there's streamers that do 10-hour live streams. I'm not one of those people.
we're too
So,
old for that nonsense.
I don't have the patience for
We're not entertaining
that.
enough for that.
No.
People would be bored.
True. Yes. So
You just
Colton
gotta start
Dach,
showing people cats. Oh.
knock it off. Don't you start.
I can climb up this. Okay, Alex Chason and David Savard played together in midget AAA in Quebec. Would be nice to see them in the NHL together.
Agreed. Okay, Riley Kidney goes in the second round to Montreal.
Oh, that one was quicker.
Well, they have back-to-back picks.
Yes, Ratty was picked earlier. What?
Ratu went to the Islanders.
That's right. He was like at number 50 or something like that.
53, 54. It took a while.
Everything's taken a while.
And now Montreal's on the clock again.
Do you think that the NHL will have a more global series game in the future? Also, how often do you have to get new dry erase markers? Love your content. Oh my gosh, the amount of markers you would think he was buying for like a whole primary school. We have boxes of markers.
Well, I have different markers for different reasons.
Yes. Boxes. It seems like weekly. Well, I bought another box of markers.
I didn't buy any this week.
He did last week.
Yeah.
And the week before.
Well, yeah, those were different markers for different reasons.
So many markers. He goes through so many markers. It is crazy.
Just relax, kitty. Just relax.
Okay. Do you think that the NHL will have... I already read that one. Could you see Barzal being a top 10 NHL player in the next few years? I don't think he has hit his prime yet.
I don't know about top 10 in the NHL, but Barzal's a fantastic player. I don't think offensively he's hit his peak, and I wonder if Barry Trotz's system causes him to score less.
Does Seattle now have the perfect roster?
I don't know. Not perfect roster. I mean, Seattle's going to be in the market for free agency. So Oliver Kapanen goes to Montreal to end out the second round. He is also a center.
Yes, the markers are a business expense.
Of course they are. I would not have these markers if it wasn't for my business. So
that's true. There's no way we would
earthly
need that many markers.
I would need markers.
Okay, why did the Jackets trade Cam? Goodness, sorry. Okay, trade Cam and straight up for Voracek. What is going on? Please help me not hate my team as much.
There has to be more to it, I would think. I mean, I like Voracek, but I don't know that he's worth his contract at this point. Maybe they didn't think that Atkinson was going to bounce back. That I would think there has to be more to it than that. And the fact that it's within 24 hours of Seth Jones going, those things have to be related. There's also the belief that maybe Columbus is just, throwing in the towel for next season and looking to do like a retool. But, we'll see. If there's more moves that get made, more players that go out, then I would lean towards agreeing with that.
Does Vegas bring in Suter to replace Martinez?
If Martinez can't come to an agreement with them, he will definitely be on their list.
Thoughts on Minnesota's draft and offseason? Think they're in trade talks?
Minnesota, their offseason so far has been on hold. I mean, until we know what's going to happen with Kaprizov, everything's on hold. If they can't keep Kaprizov, if he ends up going to the KHL, it's going to be seen as a failure, regardless of what else they do.
Do you think we see Tampa Bay trade to get some more cap room to fill out the roster?
Yes, I think a Tyler Johnson trade will happen. And then I think they'll look to fill out the roster with cheaper players.
How many playoff teams from the Pacific Division?
This coming year, I think we'll still see 4. I think it'll be 4 and 4.
Philly's making room for Eichel. It was rumored that there would be a dark horse for Eichel in the East.
They'll have to pay. They'll have to pay a lot for Eichel.
Can you explain the timeouts in the draft? This is new, right?
The timeouts aren't necessarily new.
I've had them before. I don't remember there being so many, though.
No. Being used like this, that is definitely new. But I'm pretty sure that that's been a thing before.
I kind of remember timeouts before, but I don't remember there being tons of them though.
No. This
I don't-
is to a
I
ridiculous
don't remember
extreme.
this taking forever
No.
for round 2. Well, round
No.
1, 4 hours. Oh my gosh.
No, we're
Yeah.
past 2 hours in this live stream, and they're just past round 2 now. So yeah, it's at this rate it would take forever.
How good will Hyman, Puljujarvi, and McDavid line be?
It'll be as good as McDavid drives it to be. The interesting thing, of course, will be, can they get Draisaitl and McDavid on separate lines again? Can they get Draisaitl away from McDavid, or is it going to be too tempting for the coach to put them back together? Hyman, I think, is a good player. I think he's a solid forward. If the contract comes in where it's rumored to be, it's probably going to be a contract that doesn't age well past about year 4, but Edmonton's not worried about year 4.
Where will Krejci land if he doesn't take a pay cut to stay in Boston?
I would think he goes home. I would think he signs at home if he doesn't end up returning to Boston. I don't think there's an interest for him to go anywhere else other than Boston.
A lot of Rangers fans are losing faith in Drury fast. Can you provide some words of encouragement, or are you also in the doomed with Drury camp?
It's nothing like bailing on your GM when he's still in like his first month of work. It's a bit early. It's a bit early to make any statements on Drury at this point. We'll see what happens, but it is a bit early to be abandoning him.
Which 2 playoff teams will come from the Pacific?
Well, we're going to have Vegas will be in for sure. Edmonton has to be in there too. Okay, Rangers.
Bit of a different question. Favorite movie seen in 2021? Cheers from Calgary. We didn't really watch many.
We really don't watch movies in 2021.
Yeah.
I guess it would have to be a scene from Black Widow.
That movie.
So that'd have to be the part where she makes fun of her doing the hair flip, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, that.
There you go. And now all of a sudden, the picks are coming in a lot faster.
We haven't watched very many movies this year.
No, we haven't.
The new Pixar movie. What was that called? Was it Luca?
Wasn't Inside Out this year too?
I'm pretty sure it's the Luca.
Yeah, that one was
The
cute.
one with the water?
Yeah, with the boys.
Yeah,
I think that was Luca. That one was cute.
Yeah, it's Luca.
I like that one. We haven't really seen very many movies yet. I want to see that new Cruella movie. That one looks really fun. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for putting in these long shifts. Love the content. Cheers from Edmonton. Bunch of Alberta people today.
Okay, so Ryan Winterton. Okay, official. The Rangers have bought out D'Angelo. No surprise there. Sasha Pastujov is drafted by Anaheim, and Jaden, I'm going to guess that's Gruby, drafted to start the 3rd round by the New York Rangers, and the New Jersey Devils are on the clock.
With the Elks and the Guardians, do you see the Blackhawks gone?
Not yet. They're
It is
not
a bit different.
It is different.
They're not equal there. I wouldn't be surprised if they change eventually, though.
I think eventually they will, but not yet. They're not.
Or see, they
They're
could
not on the list.
They could just change their logo.
Not for me.
The
name I don't think changes, but
change the logo.
The logo may very well end up changing, and people get really mad about it, but it's eventually, I would think, going to happen. And by eventually, I mean not now. It might be 10 years down the road, it might be 20, but eventually.
But it is different. It's not
different.
quite the same. Why are all 3 California teams bad at the same time?
Because they were all good at the same time, and they weren't replenishing their prospect lists. So that's what happens. Eventually, that catches up with you.
Would you rather be a crab or an octopus? An octopus. Easy question.
Samu Salmonen, drafted by New Jersey. That just sounds like a New Jersey name. So Columbus is on the clock now. See how much faster this is going all of a sudden? It's like, oh, now the 2nd round's done, so.
All right, now
just
nobody's
fly.
watching, so let's get this done. Do you see the Sharks making any big moves in free agency this year to help balance that offense?
I think it's going to be a very busy overall season in free agency. Yeah, I think they'll be active.
And controversial Canadians first round pick.
It was, and we'll see what happens from here. I think Montreal could have had him if they wanted him in the second round, and I don't think it would have caused nearly as much kerfuffle as it did. But we'll see how it shakes out.
Where do you guys believe Eichel will land and when?
I honestly think it'll be one of the California teams, either the Kings or the Anaheim Ducks. I'd be kind of surprised if it's not one of those two. You want to trade him out of the conference if you can, and they have a lot to offer. Both of those teams have a lot to offer that you're looking for.
The Elks are a Canadian football team.
Yeah, Stanislav Svozil.
Cheers from Colorado. You think the Avs re-sign Landy?
No, I think if they were going to re-sign Landeskog, I think it would have happened already. I think Landeskog is on his way out. I think his demands are just too high. So Detroit's on the clock.
What kind of players do the Leafs need going forward?
Really, it's a matter of they're trying to get over the hump now in the playoffs. They need to find their Barclay Goodrow, Bryce Coleman. They need that kind of player, and that's the problem, is they haven't had the kind of support for the top guys, so that when the top guys are struggling to score, that they can get over the top. So maybe they're going to be in on Coleman when he's a free agent.
Who do you think Calgary targets as is that number one right wing?
Number one right wing. That's, again, they would probably look and trade, and I'm not even sure who's available right now or what they're going to pay for it, because it's a flat cap. Brad Treliving's playing his cards pretty close to the vest, so you'd have to trade out a good player to get the top, especially a number one right wing. Top guys just don't get moved around a lot right now, and so either you're going to get them because it's a bad contract or because the team's selling, so you're going to have a lot of future assets. I'm not sure where Calgary's at.
Does McTavish center or wing in Anaheim?
He'll end up being a center.
Hardest working YouTuber. Love you both.
Thank you very much.
Aw, thanks. Have you guys played the video game Summer in Mara?
Nope.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Nope, haven't played it.
I don't play video games though, so
No, you don't.
I really, really don't. I'm really bad at video
Sounds like
games
next.
as well, so
It's funny on GTA.
I'm awful.
It's hilarious on GTA.
I'm really bad at video games. I'm really bad. I'm not exaggerating. I'm really bad. Thoughts on Islanders? Still close to Cup or no?
The Islanders are going to be in the mix as long as they've got Barry Trotz behind the bench. All they have to do is make the playoffs, and then they're a nightmare in the playoffs because Barry Trotz is one of the best coaches in the league.
You don't like beer? Do you like to drink at all? Not really.
I haven't had alcohol in
It's very
gotta
long
be
time.
almost a year.
We
It
really
might be
just-
more than a year.
Nah.
It's just not my thing. We've got it in the fridge. I just never touch it.
Thoughts on Panthers being a preferred destination?
Well, Florida is always going to be a popular destination anyways because it's Florida. You have also the no taxes, comparatively speaking, and now they're being run pretty well by Zito, and you've got Quenneville behind the bench. They're going to be a popular team for a long time.
I have an old Baltimore skipjack puck that's just collecting dust. I'm from the U.S., so would the U.S. address in the description be the best place to send it if you are interested?
Be the cheapest way to send it. We won't be able to get it for a while.
So people could still mail things to us in the States.
We have somebody picking it up.
But we do not have access because the border's closed.
Right.
But we are still getting mail. I know we got something from a subscriber just last week. So we are sent pictures. Hey, look, you got something. So if you mail it to our American address, it'll just be waiting for us for when the border finally opens. Maybe.
They're
maybe
talking about by the end of August.
So, Kraken dislike based off of when Vegas joined.
Not for me. I don't have any dislike for Seattle. I don't really have any dislike for Vegas either.
Nope.
And the amount of time in between the expansions was actually much more spread out than during the 90s when it was just teams after teams after teams. They added 9 teams in a decade.
That's a lot.
I can't imagine them trying that now. People would go nuts.
Yeah. What teams are still in the Dougie Hamilton sweepstakes? Carolina, New Jersey, anyone else?
It's tough to say because you can't actually negotiate with them yet.
So many of these.
You can't negotiate with the player.
Or something.
You can't negotiate with the player until the 28th. So it's all speculation right now. Like I keep seeing articles, saying, "Oh, this team's out now on this free agent." How? They can't negotiate with them yet. How would they be out on that free agent unless they don't have the cap space? So I would think that Hamilton, there's going to be a number of teams looking, and there may be teams that don't necessarily have cap space right up front that say, we'll add Hamilton and trade somebody out after. I would think bending down the road, if he's able to find the money, he would do his best to sign Dougie Hamilton. But it'll be interesting to see where he ends up going and how much money that takes. Because with how much money Jones got, he could easily get $10 million.
Hi, all. What do you think of GM Holland's moves since he came to Edmonton? Can you give him a rating from 1 to 10?
I thought Holland was doing fine in the beginning. He's made some head-scratching moves so far this offseason. I'd give him about a 6 right now. We'll see how he does for the rest of the summer.
Do you have a Kenora Thistles jersey?
No.
1907 Cup.
No, I don't.
Those really old ones are really hard to find.
Yep.
Or find even, they do like replicas, but a lot of them, even the replicas look bad.
Yep.
Not sure if this has ever been addressed, but are you a fan of Letterkenny? And if so, where's your Shoresy 69 jersey? We do like Letterkenny.
I actually have the T-shirt I have a jersey of Letterkenny. It's blank.
Yeah.
And then I have the coach kicking the garbage can T-shirt.
You have a few Letterkenny shirts.
I have a Letterkenny hat as well.
Don't you have a Katie one too?
The Katie T-shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, not my forte.
Mm-hmm.
I have that T-shirt.
That's it. Okay. We've seen them live. That was fun.
Yeah, we went and saw them in Vancouver 2 years ago. We went and saw them.
Yeah.
And it was Squirrely Dan, Wayne, Derry.
Yeah.
It was just 3.
It was the 3. They had
Stuart and Katie came up at the end, but they were just really part themselves.
Because they're
so
local.
It was Tyler Johnson was there because he lives.
Doesn't he live?
And I mean
like
the one from
North
Letterkenny, not the one that plays for Tampa. Yeah, he lives in Vancouver.
North fan.
And Katie was just there.
She was, yeah.
Michelle Milet is tiny. Holy crap, she is so tiny.
Yeah.
You would think she's 10. If you didn't know who she was, you'd think she's like 10 years. She is so tiny. The actress that plays Katie.
Any update on Reinhardt? Situation's getting weird.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's traded to Florida. He's been told he's traded to Florida. The particulars still being discussed, I guess.
I swear some of the guys I play rec hockey with base their entire identity around Letterkenny.
I could see that.
Do they run around ninja dust?
I could see, though, top shelf snipey. Like, I find myself...
So, yeah, the way they talk is just...
I find myself using some of the phrases they use now when I play floor hockey or street hockey. So, yeah, I could see how that would work with ice hockey especially. Absolutely.
Obnoxious.
Yeah.
Should the Jets overpay for a top 4 RHD? How desperate should they be to improve their defense for next season?
They have to. They absolutely have to because you've got so many good players right now that are in their prime up front. You have to improve that defense.
Is Mike texting you about the draft? I'm sure he's busy doing stuff today.
Yeah, I haven't got a text from him at all.
What is a realistic return for Eichel?
For Eichel, it's probably going to be at least 2 first-round picks. You'd have to think there'd be at least 1 roster player involved and probably a grade A prospect because Buffalo's looking to not just sell Eichel off, but they want to be competitive too. So you have to get multiple assets for that.
Why should I be happy about Matthew Coronado at number 13?
He is a wild card in this draft that I had seen go anywhere from 11 or 12 down into the 20s. He's a good player. He's absolutely a good player.
Have you seen Invincible or The Boys? Thoughts?
I've watched The Boys. Absolutely.
Think you have a very big Finnish audience? Yes, we know we do.
Yes.
How do you feel about the Voracek-Atkinson trade?
I'm surprised that Columbus does that, but I'll be taking a look at that once we're done with the live stream here.
What moves do you see the Capitals making this offseason?
Well, first and foremost, they have to re-sign Ovechkin. And if they don't, then they have to go out and find a forward that can score some goals for them. So that's their first order of business is re-signing Ovechkin, and then figure out, are you going to move? Are you going to move Kuznetsov or not? Outside of that, I don't think they need to do a lot. They're trying to stay in contention and try to win that second Stanley Cup for Ovechkin. They're getting older. Their window definitely, to me, looks like it's probably closed, but we'll see if they're able to pry that open again.
Have the Leafs picked?
They picked Knies towards the end of the second round. The third round, we're stalled out at San Jose now that took a timeout.
Thoughts on the Dash brothers? Dak. Okay.
That's a good pick by Chicago. It's not considered to be an overly deep draft, so it's a pretty risk-free picking Kirby Dach's younger brother. And I mean, he's big, and if he can play, then it's a bonus for both of them.
How much would you offer Landeskog if you were Colorado?
I don't know that I'd go above 7.5. Just for your internal cap structure and the way you're doing things, I don't know that I'd go above 7.5. And I love Landeskog, but I don't know that I'd go higher than that.
Showrunner for Dark Matters pitching a mini series. That'd be fun.
Good, because they need to finish it. They need to stop with the cliffhanger ending and show us how it really ends.
Who have the Kings taken so far?
The Kings have taken, in the first round, they took Eklund. Second round, they took Pinelli. They haven't drafted in the third round yet. Okay, so Simon Robertson goes to St. Louis after San Jose trades that pick.
What's your opinion on Yzerman's job?
Yzerman's done a fantastic job. One of the best GMs in the league, bar none.
When did Adiradi get picked?
The Islanders picked him. That's like
50-something.
I think it's 51st. I think it was 51st overall. It took a while. But for the Islanders, it's a risk-free pick. If he doesn't work out, oh well. They're a pretty good team. They've got some good young players already. If he does work out, they look like geniuses.
Is there anything the NHL could do to change the current situation where many players avoid Canadian teams?
Not really. It's just Canadian, the taxes. A lot of it is the amount of pressure they get in Canada on social media and the fact that you don't have any anonymity. It's tough. It is tough. You can sign for more money in the States, in that you're keeping more of the money from the contract, and you can do that and not have to worry about it. So, and then you're anonymous when you're out in public with your family as well, which you don't have in Canada. Like, guys get hassled while they're trying to have dinner. They get hassled while they're out at the zoo. Like, anywhere you go, you can be hassled. And I kind of never really blamed players for not wanting to play in Canada. And I remember Joe Sakic, BC boy, never wanted to play in Vancouver. It was pretty much an unspoken truth that he would never want to play in Vancouver. So it's been out there for a long time.
Hosang is this year spammed Francis to get him.
Hosang's not going to end up in the NHL.
I'm a National Guard drill at National Guard drill right now, but I thought I'd drop by. Keep up the good draft coverage, Shannon.
Thank you.
Is Jamie Benn's contract one of the worst in the league?
Yes. At this point, yes. For $9 million a year, you're not getting the value out of that from Ben. Absolutely.
What pick are we at now?
72.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 72 on the clock.
Yeah, it's slowed down again because it looks like Carolina's called the timeout
again
after San Jose called the timeout and traded the pick to St. Louis. So Carolina might be trading the pick too. At some point, I have to shut down the live stream because I have to do other videos, get ready for the game tonight, have food, so I don't drop dead, because that wouldn't be a good experience at a street hockey game, dropping dead. So,
is the CJHL underrated?
I think honestly, there are some leagues that I think are underrated. Alberta's is underrated. I think the BCHL is probably underrated as well. I don't think they're underrated by scouts, though. I think it's more maybe fans, maybe some of the pundits don't give it as much attention. But I think the scouts know where the good players are.
Thoughts on the Tristan brothers to the Pens? Enjoy the show.
Tristan, I'm going to get into the guys in the second round. I'm going to be doing videos on some of the prospects that got drafted today. I'll get into Tristan. I do think it's interesting that they have two guys named Tristan now, with Tristan Jarry and Tristan Braz. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll be doing videos on the prospects now that the draft's going to be done.
Does Shannon use Elite Prospects website? Yep.
I use Elite Prospects, Hockey Prospect, McKean's, drafts. I've got all of those books on my, like all the PDF files on my computer. For all three of them, I paid for those publications. And each one offers something different. Like with McKean's, it's kind of bullet points. With Elite Prospects, it's kind of flashy and there's all kinds of different articles in there. And then with Hockey Prospect, you just get all kinds of text and all kinds of information. And so it really depends on what you're looking for. So I use a combination of the three to put together the prospect videos.
What moves should Lou make for the Islanders?
There's not really much the Islanders need to do. Like, obviously, they're going to have to replace Eberle's goals on the team. But, I mean, if he picks up Parise and Suter while they're on the back nine of their career, I think Islanders are in pretty good shape. They could just bring up Dobson, give him more minutes. Give Bellows a shot. I don't think there's a problem giving Bellows a shot, and give Wallstrom more ice time. I think it can be resolved from within any of their weaknesses.
Could the Kings drafting Eklund be a push to trade him as part of the package for Eichel? Adams seems to be high on that prospect.
Well, Eklund ended up going to the Sharks. It was Clark that ended up going to the Kings. I don't think that necessarily a guy that gets picked in the top 10 this year ends up being the one that goes to Buffalo. I think Buffalo wants draft picks next year. First rounders next year are like gold because of the fact that it's a stacked draft. So look for teams to be targeting next year's first round picks.
She's shaking the whole thing.
Yeah.
Please eat and stay hydrated. It's a hot one today.
That's the rumor.
It's supposed to be hot. What do you think of the Canucks trade now that the Oats took Gunther?
That pick, I don't like giving up that number 9 pick. I understand that it's seen as a weaker draft. Gunther slipping down to 9, that was something I didn't foresee happening. I thought he'd be gone by 9. I would have been able to do a happy dance last night if the Canucks had drafted Gunther, and now I've got some concerns. I understand he's not going to play this year in all likelihood. He probably plays next year, but I've got some concerns.
Would THC have to pay the NHL to use their highlights? Yes.
Through the nose.
It would be so expensive.
Or the other option is I use their highlights, can't monetize the video, they monetize it, and they're making money off my work.
That would be really nice of you to make videos for them.
Because that's what they do.
Yes.
They would copyright. Oh, that's ours. And
That's
then
for
they put
me.
ads on it and they
Thank
make the money
you.
on it.
No,
So
take that.
basically, I'd be a volunteer for the NHL at that point.
Yes. What does the happiness look like? I don't think he ever shares that.
No,
It's cute.
I haven't had a chance
It's
to.
cute. I know.
I haven't had a chance to do that yet because they don't make me happy in general. So yeah, you're not though. So
I know
keep-
you're warming up.
Keep that over here. Do I need to turn that to a heater?
No,
I
because
can
it's
turn
gonna
this
get
into a
hot. We don't
heater.
need to start heating up the house.
I can heat up the house.
How
if you'd
old
like.
are you guys? Really old?
645.
Really old.
Last time
I
I
know
checked,
how
I'm
old my mom is.
645.
She's 40.
Okay, thank you.
Strongren. I haven't really looked into Strongren. Again, I'm going to be doing videos on prospects once the draft's done, and I'll do up those prospect videos a little bit different than the way that I do them before the draft.
Do you think St. Louis is going to be able to make a run again?
As long as you're in the running for a playoff spot, you can make a run in the playoffs, but it's going to be tough for them because I don't think Colorado's going to get weaker.
Haha, kids. Yeah, that's our youngest. Somebody was asking who she is. That's our youngest. She's busy talking to herself right behind her. So, thoughts on the Jets draft so far?
The Jets have done well. I think the Jets have done well so far. I'll be doing a review once we're through this. If we ever get through this draft, now we're stalled out in the third round. I don't think we're going to get this done.
What? Yvonne's 29? Yes, that would have made me. How old would I had Malachi?
12.
Well, yeah, it depends on the time of year. Are you gonna do anything about the entertainment guy taking your identity?
Not yet. Okay, so Nashville takes the Carolina pick. Oh man. So we're just gonna trade around. Why does it take so long? And then they took Anton Olsen, defenseman.
Okay, watched round 1 yesterday, went to bed, and you're back on. Greetings from the UK. Loved your content over the years. Just a small thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this is us being on the camera a lot.
I don't even know if I'm going to get through the whole third round. I got to be honest. This is taking forever.
It's taking a really long time. And needing to be able to get videos done before we go. I still need to get the sticks out of the shed.
Right.
And yeah,
we got to make sure we have all the equipment.
I wash jerseys. I need to go hang up the rest of the jerseys so they dry. They'll dry real quick.
Our hockey sticks are already in again.
No, just your two, but we bring a bunch of other hockey sticks, don't we?
Yeah. Just in case no one.
Has Dallas picked yet? I think everybody's.
Dallas is on the clock right now. They drafted Stank Oven and Grushnikov back to back.
You just like calling him Stank Oven.
Oh, like nobody
Poor
else is going to
boy.
call him that.
I know it's an unfortunate name.
Ayrton Martino. I like that name. That's a good one. Dallas is going with an all-name team this time. I like it.
Do you think Atkinson can find his offense in Philly playing with Giroux?
Yes, I think Atkinson can bounce back. I'm kind of surprised Columbus makes that move. Yeah, Atkinson can bounce back. I would say 25 goals. Okay, now Ottawa's on the clock if they make the pick. We'll see.
I'm jealous you're playing road hockey. Shannon's really excited about playing hockey.
That's my second game in a week.
So happy times for Shannon.
Played on Tuesday. Now I'm playing again today.
Yeah.
And if we weren't going to a basketball game on Tuesday, I'd be playing again.
Yep.
This Tuesday.
This is taking longer than the War of 1812.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And they keep going back to the panel, and it's like, why?
No,
Why do you
stop talking about it? Just come on, let's go.
It's like this is the most over analysis of drafts that this is so ridiculous.
They want to make it really long so they can fit in all the
And notice
commercials.
it's ESPN, meaning
all the
Sportsnet
ads.
said we're not bringing people in. We're just gonna show the ESPN feed. We're not gonna or the NHL live feed, we're not going to bother. So, because this isn't the Sportsnet people.
No.
Brian Lawton's up there. It's not the Sportsnet people.
You want slow watch an NFL draft? Oh my gosh,
We
we
did.
did that one year. It was awful. That
We
was
did that last year.
Horrible.
That was funny.
I just stopped even paying attention at all. I'm not going to read the names because I couldn't pronounce
Oliver
any of them.
Johansson.
I'd never even heard of any of them. But luckily enough people came to talk to me so that I didn't have to listen about football the whole time. I was so boring. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember the football one. That was awful.
Capitals are on the clock now after Ottawa made their
Did you
pick.
find a box? She has a box.
Ayrton Martino.
Hockey guy is streaming. Let's extend his content. Thank you.
We're only up to pick 675.
Eklund or Gunther?
Completely different players. Eklund has the higher potential of the two. I think Gunther has the higher floor, meaning at worst, Gunther should be pretty good, whereas at worst, Eklund might have more risk to it. But they're both close.
What'll Sakic do if Landy walks? Thoughts on Makar?
The Makar deal's fine. $9 million a year is a lot of money, but Makar has earned it. If Landeskog walks, they have to find another top six forward. Whether they do that from within or if they look to add, we'll see. But I don't see him spending an absolute ton of money either to keep Landeskog or replace Landeskog, because you want to make sure that you still have cap space going forward.
There you go, Gary Bettman. Thanks, you're cute.
Alrighty.
How do you think the Sabres have drafted so far, and thoughts on Devin Levi rumored to be sent for Reinhart?
Levi's a good goaltender. It's not just going to be Levi, though. There's going to be more to it than that. I like Levi, and I hope he succeeds. Buffalo, of course, already has Luukkonen, but you can definitely benefit from having more than one goaltending prospect in your system at a time.
Come back to Disneyland soon.
We wish. We really, really want to.
I would love to go to Disneyland.
That sounds like there's a plane coming in to fly soon.
We have to wait for the border to open.
True.
So, Gary wants you. Why did Habs not pick in the second round? I just woke up.
The Habs had 2 picks in the second round. At the end of it, Riley Kidney and Oliver Kapanen. So they decided to go with 2 guys that their last name started with K.
Can't remember the last time Pittsburgh had high picks. How do we look to you after 87, 71, 58 retire? Thank you guys for all the content.
They're delaying every year. They're delaying that rebuild, but eventually they're going to have to rebuild. And I think for Pittsburgh, it could be another one of those ugly rebuilds that they go through every 20 years. It could be slim pickings after that, because they do keep trading prospects and top draft picks, and eventually that's something you pay for.
Roddy went to Islanders.
Yes. Went to the Islanders, and that was past 50th in the draft.
Yeah. Can you do a video on all effort team, hardest working top 6, hardest working top 4 blue line?
See,
that's tricky.
I can do something on hardworking players that I like. The thing with that is, whenever I do videos like that, if I leave off somebody else's favorite player, it automatically is interpreted as hate. And it's, well, this guy belongs there. Why do you hate him? I don't. So I won't be doing as many of the list videos this year, or as many of that kind of video this year as I normally do, because it's a shorter off season. But I can do videos along those lines, just kind of general overlooks at hardworking players, career videos, that kind of thing. Oh, good. Capitals called a timeout.
Why? They've had plenty of time.
Yeah, they had 5 minutes and then timeout.
This takes forever. They've had lots of time.
So that means they're probably trading the pick. Pick number 75. Ugh. Round 3 ends at 96. We're at 75.
Would you ever consider doing a video on your favorite player from each team? Do you do something like that?
I did that.
Yeah, I thought you did.
I did that
Like
about
that
a month
last-
ago. I did
Okay.
about a month ago. I did my favorite players on each team. Yeah, I did that.
Third round is taking longer than the second.
It is now. The first 4 picks were really quick, and then after that, it's ground to a halt. So yeah, at some point I got to go do videos and other stuff. Don't worry, I will change the title of the video to what pick we end at. The 2nd through 7th was just a placeholder for the setup for the live stream. Just like the free agent frenzy won't necessarily be every single free agent signed during the entire summer. We'll definitely have a look
As
at the
fun as
birds.
that would be. Oh, fluffies. Oh my eyes.
What's that big fluffy orange one?
I don't know.
What in the heck
Is that
is
a
that?
real bird? It can't be a real bird, right?
It could be if it's like an ostrich or
Look
something,
at
but I
that.
don't think they're orange.
Ah.
Doesn't have eyes. What kind of bird doesn't
Just
have
a
eyes?
Poof.
Big
Poof of a bird.
Poof and a beak.
Okay.
Weird.
Just laughing at the funny baby birds. Do you think Tarasenko will be dealt today?
Not today. Just from the way Doug Armstrong was talking about it a couple of days ago, it doesn't sound like there's a deal for Tarasenko right now. I don't think he likes the offers that have been made. So unless something changes, probably doesn't get traded today.
What do you think about the Wings prospect pool?
It's fantastic. Really, really fantastic. He's Steve Yzerman has got top-notch prospects at every position now. It is a solid, deep prospect pool.
Wanted to hang on until the Bruins' next pick, but might not happen until next week at this rate.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not even halfway through round 3 yet.
A lot of people talk about how this is taking forever.
Yeah.
Is Landeskog a possibility for St. Louis? If not, what? No, it's moved. What possibility are out there to shove them back into contention?
Landeskog will be on their list. If they're able to pick up Landeskog, they will. That hurts a division rival, and Landeskog's an excellent top 6 forward. If they're not able to get Landeskog, they'll definitely be in the mix for a top 6 winger. Maybe Hoffman sticks around. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because, again, we don't know how that market's going to turn out. But St. Louis will probably end up being aggressive. So Ryder Korzak goes to the Rangers.
How many non-goalie third rounders actually play a game in the NHL?
I think it's like 15%. I want to say it's 15%.
It's quite low. Didn't you do a video on it?
I've talked
Thinking a
about
couple of years ago, and you talked about
the
how
likelihoods.
yeah, and
And
how
it
there
does
are a
drop.
few that have been from lower rounds that end
But
up being good, but it's quite
This
rare.
year, because scouting has been kind of neutered by the pandemic, it is more likely that we will see steals later on in the draft than other years because there just wasn't the amount of scouting that you would normally have.
Pens get Mario Crosby or Sidney Lemieux in 2035.
Probably something like that. Watch Pittsburgh bottom out this year and get Shane Wright and everybody lose their minds.
Can the Flames get a top line center without giving up Kachuk?
No. Kachuk is the guy who has that amount of value. Unless you had Monahan, you threw him in and you like if you had Monahan as a starting point, then you're throwing in some really big names as well, like whether it's top prospects or high draft picks. Kachuk's the guy who's got that kind of market value.
If Chicago could make just one more move to justify Seth Jones' trade, what would it need to be?
Well, they would need to have somebody on a bargain contract to try to kind of offset that. For Chicago, it's going to be interesting to see how their money sets up if you've got Taves, Kane and Jones, and they're taking like $30 million of your cap.
You have a few people here asking about Tarasenko.
I don't think Tarasenko's going anywhere today.
Much love from Finland. Which center should the Rangers go after, given that Eichel looks very unlikely for them?
Center? Well, if they want to get a third-line center, Danault might be a really good pickup from Montreal. He's going to be on the unrestricted free agent market. Okay, so the Ducks now are on the clock because they acquired the pick from Montreal.
Was expanding to Seattle a good move? Should they have picked a different city? Should they have expanded at all?
Seattle's a good pick for the final team. It was either going to be Seattle or Houston. Seattle, I think, was a solid choice, and I know that their tickets are sold out for the next 3 seasons. So yeah, Seattle, I think is a good pick. I think there's a pretty solid untapped market there.
Who are some good backup goalies out there for the Flyers this year?
Reimer's going to be UFA. They already had Mrazek. That didn't work out for Philly last time. Canucks are trying to get rid of Holtby. They might be willing to retain some salary in that. Holtby could bounce back if he goes to that division again. Okay, Tyson Hines ends up going to Anaheim. He's a defenseman. And now the Flames are on the clock at 77.
Is there a high chance of a team being relocated in the next 5 years?
No. Florida's got a pretty tight tight hold on their arena and in their area. Arizona, very little chance they move unless they have another location in Arizona in mind, like Tempe. Other than that, there isn't really any team that's even in danger. So I don't think there's going to be any relocations.
Which team has a better prospect pool, Detroit or LA?
I would say LA, but Detroit's getting there. Detroit's definitely, I would say, in that region now with the picks they've had so far in the draft.
People are saying Reinhart trade is finalized.
I know there's multiple reports they're talking about. There we go. First round pick in the 2022 draft from the Florida Panthers and Devin Levi. And that's it for Sam Reinhart. That is a steal for Florida. Yeah, that's a steal for Florida. I'm really surprised by that. Wow. So the Sabres just wanted to get rid of him, I guess. Cole Huckins goes to Calgary. There you go. Cole Huckins. And if the hockey thing doesn't work out, he can go to the Stampede because his name's Cole Huckins.
Oh, goodness. How shocking was the Blue Jackets moving Atkinson?
I mean, it's surprising, especially for Voracek, who, his contract's not fantastic. So I'm really surprised that move took place. But clearly GMs are making some big moves right now.
Does beer ever make it into streams? No, because we don't ever have it in our house.
So now Philadelphia's on the clock. If they take the pick or if they just take a timeout for 20 minutes and then they move it for nothing, I guess.
Have you done a career video on Brendan Shanahan?
I don't remember if I have or I haven't. There are players that sometimes I'm like, oh, I haven't done a career video on this guy. So then I look him up and I'm like, oh no, I did 4 years ago. Never mind. So I've done career videos now for 4 years. So it's possible I've done a Shanahan career video.
Yeah,
I don't think I have,
I wouldn't
but
be
it's possible.
Surprised if you have, though. What do you think about the Oilers' picks so far? Do they make the first round trade?
Does the first round trade make sense?
Does first round trade make sense now?
Not yet, but again, I guess they weren't sold on Wallstead, and they decided to trade the pick. So we'll see. I don't think Ken Holland's done yet, so it's still early to make any decisions on winners and losers in this draft.
We met online. We did online dating.
Yeah, I was the 10th caller.
It's not
Okay, so
how that
goaltender finally goes in the third round to Philadelphia, Alexei Kolosov.
If that's all Florida had to pay for Reinhardt, I'm livid as a Flames fan.
Next year's first round draft picks they're pretty heavily guarded because again, first round draft picks next year, that draft's supposed to be excellent. So I would understand why Calgary wouldn't necessarily want to do that. Plus, we don't know what else they would have asked for from Calgary to send Reinhardt over. Which prospect would have been like a Devin Levi for them? So we'll see.
Is Seattle going to get an NBA team?
I think so. They built Climate Pledge with the idea that it could be used for both. When they did the rebuild, it wasn't just a matter of building it for a hockey arena. It's definitely there so that they can use that for basketball too. Should it come back.
SEK is Swedish currency.
Yes.
Who did the Canucks draft round 3?
They haven't. They haven't had a draft in round 3.
Yet?
No.
Not
They had
yet.
the one in round 2, which was Danilo
My
Klimovich.
gosh, he
I don't think
looks
they have
so
anything
little.
until the 5th round.
These boys look tiny. So we have a 14-year-old and a 16, almost 17-year-old. Malachi looks bigger and older than these guys.
Well, this kid, he's 5'9".
he looks
so Malachi's
like,
taller than him.
yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Some of these boys just look so young, and we have teen boys, so that's a special hat there. Okay, cool
Oh, the
idea
hats are
for a
ugly.
video.
The hats are ugly for the draft this year.
They aren't as bad as some years.
No, that
I
is
think
ugly.
what was it 3 years ago? The draft hats were awful.
They're trying
Yeah.
to get creative, but not in a good way.
Better than the lame ones
Justin
they've had, though.
Ertl
Okay,
goes to
cool idea for a video could be to see programs teams frequently draft from. For example, I noticed the Wings have picked 3 guys from Frolund,
Frölunda.
HC, and 5 from Denver University in the past few years.
Yeah, there's definitely
They might have more like scouts and stuff at certain places.
and then there's just some programs that they know are better. University of Michigan is going to be very popular with 4 of the top 5 picks this year, either being in Michigan now or Michigan commits. So, yeah, I could do something on that.
You have not done a Brendan Shanahan video.
All right.
There
I
you
wasn't
go.
sure if I had or hadn't because, again, I've had times where I get a board ready to do a video and then I look it up and I'm like, oh, crap. Well, just erase that board then. Brent Johnson goes to the Capitals. Defenseman.
Is Skinner underrated?
No. Skinner needs to bounce back too. So San Jose is now on the clock. So we're down to the 81st pick.
How did my Sabres get more for Risto than Reinhardt?
Again, I think next year's draft is just seen as being that much better than this year's draft. So that draft pick next year is worth more than the draft pick from this year. And I guess they're really sold on Levi. They must really think Levi is going to be a really good goaltender. I'm surprised. I thought it would take more than that.
What will it take for the Sabres to move Skinner?
They would have to offer up a lot. Look how much Arizona made the Islanders give him to take Ladd's contract. Skinner's contract is virtually untradeable in this flat cap right now, unless they retain a lot of money.
How big is the Leafs window before they tear it down?
2 more years. 2 more years, and then they're going to eventually get forced because the contracts for Marner and Matthews take them to unrestricted free agency. And that was part of the frustration people had with those deals that were signed when Dubas signed them. He didn't get the cap hit down, and he didn't buy up enough of the free agent time so they get to go to UFA instead of being RFA or buying a bunch of UFA years.
Will the NHL be fixing the flaw with the cap so another team doesn't win the Stanley Cup, being almost $20 million over the cap?
No, because in order to fix something like that, you'd have to have a change to the collective bargaining agreement. And I don't think they can do that on the fly. That has to be between them and the NHLPA. And I don't think there's a desire for it. I know fans are mad, but I don't think there's a desire for it. So Benjamin Gaudreau, goaltender, goes to San Jose. Winnipeg is now on the clock. We're down to 82.
Favorite Tool album?
Lateralis.
Enema.
Although I have a 10,000 Days hoodie that I just got.
It's fun.
It's a nice one.
Mm-hmm. Favorite Nightwish song? Oh, I don't know.
Bye Bye Beautiful.
There's a lot of really fun ones. I usually just put that on and I'll put it on shuffle. Adelaide really likes Nightwish too. I don't know. I don't know that I have a specific favorite song. I don't generally for most bands though. Yeah.
I do.
I know you do. I really don't.
Deutschland is like the greatest song ever for me now. Deutschland's just like, oh, it's such a good song.
That is a fun one. See, there's even in Rammstein, I have tons of.
Rammstein's Deutschland, and then it's Mindtile. That's 1, 2. And then I would think Rosenrot would be number 3 for me.
See, that'd be hard for me to rate them like that.
That's why when I hear Du Hast everywhere, I'm like, there's more than Du Hast.
I know, but that's
you guys can play other songs. Other songs are fun too, like Shauna. Shauna's a lot of fun. Dmitry Kuzmin, drafted by the Winnipeg Jets.
Who has the worst contract right now, in your opinion?
The worst contract?
Yeah.
Probably Skinner.
America is a good song.
America's a very good song. I've seen that one live twice.
Papa. That one's really fun.
The live production for Papa is really good too, where he's got the baby in the stroller, the huge stroller.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Carolina's on the clock. We'll see if they pick it or if they're waiting for another one of these timeout things. Those are fun. Why
isn't there a salary cap in the playoffs?
Because there never has been. It's like in baseball when you have the expanded rosters. In the playoffs, you have an expanded roster. You have your taxi squad, which I know we had during the regular season this year, but normally that's more of a playoff thing. And it's never been a big deal, and I don't think it's a big deal. I understand why people are upset, but the rules are the same for everybody.
What are the chances the Caps can move one of their defensemen contract to free up cap space?
It's a tough call because, again, everybody's fighting the same cap problems. Half the teams in the league were up against the cap last year, and it could be as many as 20 this year that are up against the cap. So you don't have very many trading partners, so they can add more cost to you trying to make that trade.
Could Kuznetsov be moved to the Kraken with those rumors going around?
See, the thing is with the rumors going around, if Seattle's concern is character, and if they believe that there's a character issue there, they won't take him. That was one of the rumors about Tarasenko, was that maybe they passed on Tarasenko because they didn't feel like his character would suit what they're trying to get into their locker room, that feeling they want to have in their locker room. So if that's part of it with Kuznetsov, Seattle might not be a good fit.
Can you still start learning hockey as an adult?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So
we've seen it.
Fans, we've seen tons of people that come into watching hockey as adults. Lots and lots and lots. And even at meetups, we've had so many meetups where guys have come and have never played hockey before. So, yes. Rumor dies as fast as they start. There are so many. And some of them I don't think they have any.
Carolina's called a timeout. What a surprise.
They just like their timeouts, don't they?
Carolina has called a timeout.
Yeah, how many are they allowed?
I don't know, but this makes me scared for their games this year.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, so tonight Carolina has 8 timeouts for this game.
What are the chances you guys try ice hockey in the future for a meetup?
None.
0 chance.
0.
None.
0.
So there are several reasons that we do road
There are
hockey.
a lot of reasons we don't do ice hockey.
One of the main ones being you can come and have never played hockey. Anybody at any ability can come and play hockey when we do street hockey. We frequently have our kids or other people will bring their kids. They can play. Adults can play. Doesn't matter your age. We have one guy that's come a few times that's in a wheelchair that can play. We wouldn't be able to do that with ice hockey.
Right.
Ice hockey also, you need a lot more equipment. We're able to just, people bring sticks and we bring a bunch of extra sticks. So you don't even have to bring anything. People have to bring nothing to it. Ice hockey, you would either have to bring stuff or rent stuff. Plus, we'd have to be at an ice rink,
And we
which
got to rent
costs
the
a
arena.
lot more.
Yep.
And then there's insurance as
And
well.
then
When
during
we
the summer, a lot of the arenas don't even have ice.
Right. When we do the Brody Hints, which is in an arena, we have to pay for insurance to have that meetup. So there are so many reasons that we do street hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But our goal for the meetups is just to have
It's just a casual
fun
game.
and just anybody can come.
It's just a casual game. It's
you guys
not
Canadian
it's not
or what?
competitive.
So our windows are covered in Canada flags. Yeah, we're Canadian. Shannon, favorite Tupac song is California Love. Song's obnoxious.
Yeah, that would be my favorite.
Do you think you could do play-by-play for the new Abbotsford team?
I think they've got somebody for the play-by-play. Because that would be like...
Oh, you're so warm.
30...
Oh, you're warm. Come here.
I think it's a 68-game season, so that'd be 34 nights that I'd have to be away calling a game. So I think they've got somebody for that.
Shannon wouldn't have time to do that either.
No.
The Reinhardt trade is not bad. He wanted out, so likely wouldn't sign anyways. RFA compensation would have been about the same. Forward to Eichel.
I'm just surprised that it was just one draft pick and they don't get a player out of it. So for Buffalo to trade Reinhardt, who was their best forward last year, because Eichel was hurt, and not get anybody on the roster out of it, that hurts. The earliest they're going to get that 2022 draft pick is likely 2023 is the earliest that player would probably debut on the roster. And it could be a late draft pick too, because Florida should be pretty good. It's not going to be a good trade for them. Not now.
Where does Eichel go?
Eichel is, I would think, headed to California. I think that's where he ends up. Another goaltender went to Carolina. Patrick
Why
Hamilton.
would we play in a cul-de-sac when we can play in little hockey areas? Where we live, there's tons of little hockey courts. Like most schools have them.
Yeah.
I'd say about a third of parks have them.
Either
they have the hockey area or the lacrosse area.
If you play actually on the street itself, you don't have boards and you're constantly ball chasing.
Yeah, and you still have to worry about cars and stuff. And in our meetups, we usually have like 30 people. So that wouldn't make very much sense.
Right.
Do you think you'll ever make a video about how much credit Yzerman deserves for Tampa's back-to-back win?
I've talked about Yzerman. I did a whole video on Yzerman as the GM and his moves with Tampa. So I've done that. And I've definitely talked about, I know last year when they won the Cup, I thought he deserved a lot of credit for that too. And I know he got a lot of credit for it. So I do think Yzerman gets a ton of credit. I think he's one of the most respected GMs in the league.
Do the Habs get fined or lose their first or nothing?
Nothing bad's going to happen to the Habs. For that pick, nothing bad's going to happen to them. So, I mean, it's a PR nightmare, but it's not. Nothing bad's going to happen to the team.
Where does Landeskog go? Islanders?
I know there's discussion that St. Louis is very keen on getting him if he goes to the market. The Islanders would have to convince him to drop his demands. His demand of, and again, it's rumored to be $9 to $10 million a year. That's too high. So you're going to have to find somebody who's willing to spend that kind of money, and I can't see Lou Lamoriello spending that kind of money.
Thoughts on CM Punk and Daniel Bryan going to AEW?
If both of them go to AEW, I won't miss a show. That'll be absolutely great. There are so many dream bookings you can do with that too. So yeah, that would be great. I'm not sure why WWE keeps letting guys go like this.
Well, Eiserman should be respected. I also think that all the other GMs should block his number.
I would. I wouldn't make a trade with him because he has this habit of winning all the trades.
3 hours and not even out of the third round.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm trying to get through round 3. I'm trying. I don't know how long they're going to broadcast this, because last time they had already cut away by 3 hours, and by 3 hours we had already done like round 5. We were into round 6 at 3 hours 2 years ago. There's no way this went this long last time. Nowhere near. Now the Flames are on the clock, and guess what? It's frozen again, which means they've probably called a timeout. So Carolina probably told them, hey, just call a timeout. All right. Carolina said we needed to call a timeout.
Favorite movie you've seen recently? No Marvel movies, please.
That's the only movie I've seen lately.
We really haven't seen.
I mean, I watched the movie that I mentioned the other day that I finally watched after years of not watching was The Final Girls, which is about a girl whose mom is an actress and she dies in a car accident, and then she was known for being in this cheesy horror movie back in the 80s. So her daughter, who feels guilty about her mother dying in this car accident, because it wasn't her fault, but she was in the car and whatever happens, they end up, her and her friends end up in the actual slasher movie that her mother starred in. And it's creative. It's actually a creative movie. I actually got a kick out of it. I'm going to do a review on the Entertainment Guy for it at some point. But it was a fun movie. And I would say that's probably my favorite movie I've watched so far this year, I guess.
We really haven't watched many movies.
Really don't.
We've only, like, theaters just started.
Like Love Island's not a movie. That's a series.
We watched
Loki was a series.
What's Her Face?
Well, you said no Marvel movies, so that'd be Black Widow. That's the only one that I've seen that's new.
And then we've seen some of the new Disney movies.
I haven't.
I know you haven't. I meant me and the kids.
Yeah, because you watched Mulan and you watched.
No, that wasn't new. That was last year.
You watched.
What was the other one? Oh, the Raya. That one was good.
The Purple Dragon one.
I like that one too. Yeah.
Oh, now it's the Kings. So yeah, the Flames traded it to the Kings.
No, we are on round 3.
Yeah, it's round 3.
Just it's forever.
Not making it to 7. Just saying now.
Who would Team Canada's captain be at the Olympics?
It's got to be Crosby. It has to be Crosby. Crosby's there. He has to be team captain.
Of course, Shannon would recommend Orphan Black. He really likes.
Orphan Black's a fantastic show.
Am I growing vegetables this summer? Yes.
Yeah, to the point where I don't have to buy vegetables during summer.
My tomatoes are doing awesome. And I'm going to have so many zucchini, and my snap peas are doing really good. My Brussels sprouts are really tiny, but the Brussels sprout plants are huge. And I always do cabbage. My carrots didn't really do well this year, which is really odd because carrots are usually a really easy one. When I have beets and tons of cucumber. And the cucumbers right now are like this big. So that's fun. Yeah, lots of vegetables. So many tomatoes. So if anybody is going to need tomatoes, they're not ripe yet.
Okay, Boston's on the clock.
Eventually I'll have a ridiculous amount of tomatoes.
Come on, Boston. Pick somebody that I know. So Kirill Kirsanov drafted by LA. So they have a Kirill the Thrill as well in LA.
I'll trade you a gigantic cucumber and peppers for some zucchini. I love zucchini. Zucchini is great. We've got to pick 3 of them so far. Zucchinis are great.
Oh, the Winnipeg
And I have
draft picks from
pumpkins.
Belarus.
And melon. I have one of those tiny greenhouses that are like big enough that one person can walk in. So I decided to do melon. And I have melons that are this big. I keep getting to Shannon to look at them. I don't think he cares. Look at my melon. Think this big.
Well, because
so
anytime
cute.
that a woman says, look at my melons, and you're like, what's that? Oh, plants. Got it. So it's just anticipation and followed by, oh, she actually means melons.
It's too cold here for melons, so you have to have
It's
them
never
in a
too cold for melons.
Okay, just stop it. So you have to have them in a greenhouse, and I have a tiny little greenhouse, and so I wanted to grow melons, and they're tiny, they're cute. Okay,
Ratu
Pinelli
went to
go.
the Islanders, and Pinelli ended up going to the Kings. Pinelli went way earlier.
Where does Robertson play in the Leafs lineup?
They might give him a shot at the top 6. They might give him a shot at the top 6. I would think third line should be where he starts, but depending on what happens, they might put him in the top 6. Brett Harrison goes to the Boston Bruins.
Will you do a video on Sheldon Kennedy, top prospect, tragic story?
At some point, yes. Sheldon Kennedy's been in the news lately with everything else that's going on too. And so it may be part and parcel of a video that I do about the bigger, grander scheme of things too. Minnesota's now on the clock. Let's see who the Wild take. We're up to 86.
Why did the Red Wings pass on Eklund?
They must be big fans of Edvinsson. Edvinsson, again, on some of the mock drafts, he was rated as high as 2nd. I heard, as much as they loved Owen Power in Buffalo, Edvinsson was right there with them. So this was a draft that was considered to have, Owen Power was considered to be the best. But while Beniers was clearly going to be number 2, from 3 to 9, it could have gone in any order. And the idea of somebody in 3rd or 4th ending up pushing out a guy in 1st or 2nd wasn't completely outside the realm of possibility. So it's kind of an all over the place draft. What?
You turned the chat into talking about melons. Okay.
Well, it's never too cold for melons.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk about different kinds of melons?
No. Okay. Why are trades for top 4 versus top 6 defensemen so different in terms of value?
Because the top 4 defenseman is potentially the dividing line between being able to make the playoffs, being able to do something in the playoffs. Defense is so important. So GMs know this, so the asking price is going to be high. Caden Bankier goes to, or Caden Bankier, or Bagheera. I'll just call him Bagheera. That'll work. Right? Yeah, that'll work.
Where is this?
Caden.
Bankier? Bankier? Banker?
Bangkok.
Bankier?
Caden Bangkok.
That's not. No. Okay.
He's the center.
Never too cold for melons t-shirt, please. I don't know. That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. That's a perfect idea. It's never too cold for melons.
Can you think of any bad contracts the Sabres can acquire for picks?
Don't say. Well, I mean, most of the bad contracts that are going to get traded have already been traded. The Canucks are looking to get rid of Nate Schmidt. Schmidt's got a $5.9 million cap hit. I don't agree with getting rid of Nate Schmidt necessarily, but that's on the Canucks. They might be able to get picks out of that as well. I guess we could make a t-shirt. Can I ask you about your melons?
No.
And then it could be it could be to show that for,
oh my gosh,
for
Shannon,
farmers.
No.
See.
No.
So how this works.
Anyways, who does Stevie Yzerman target in free agency?
I don't think Detroit's going to be active in free agency. Not looking for big names anyways. I think it'll be maybe middling guys. I don't think there's going to be a big push yet. wait. I think one more year and then Detroit will start making moves in regards to free agents.
Do need to get the hockey tape out. Where does Hamilton land?
Wherever pays him what he thinks he's worth. And I think it's going to be expensive. It is going to be a very expensive signing. I think Edmonton's going to do their best. I think Seattle's going to do their best to bring him in. I don't think Carolina's necessarily given up on bringing him back, but it's going to be expensive.
Support the farmers. Yes, but I don't think that's how you support the farmers. Pretty sure no.
How about ask me about my melons? Does that work?
Yeah, you can totally wear that shirt. That'll go well.
No, I was thinking about buying one for you.
Nope.
And that way, when people ask you about your melons, then you can
anyways,
show them.
moving on. That's enough.
I'm just trying to support you.
Been watching for a few. You are not.
I am too.
You're trying to cause trouble.
Been
watching for a few months. I love
interest.
the channel, Shannon. Who's the best current GM? Zito, Lou, Iserman. What do you think of Isles taking Ratty?
I think Iserman's probably the best GM in the league. Bill Zito's definitely showing that he's up there. The Reinhardt deal's fantastic. And Lou is going to be a controversial one because you always look at the team he's put together and go, how? And yet somehow it succeeds. So I would say Iserman's the best GM in the league. Isn't that right, sweetie? Did you want me to design that?
Okay.
Or I can put that on spring. I can have that on spring before this live stream's over.
Who do the Flames pursue at FA? I've heard Coleman might be coming here. Thoughts?
Coleman would be a good pickup. I don't think the Flames are that far off. They're one of those teams I look at and I say, oh boy, I hope they don't overcorrect. So for Calgary, I don't think they're that far off, and Coleman would be an excellent pickup, especially with them having just got Pitlick. So Steven Sardarian to the Buffalo Sabres.
You guys don't need to encourage him. No, he's ridiculous enough without it. Yeah. Why does 6 years at $56 million feel low for a guy with Cale Makar's potential?
Because of that potential. He's arguably the best defenseman in the league. And I say arguably because that's going to create an argument. But as even I still think Victor Hedman's ahead of him. But yeah, Makar, the sky's the limit for Cale Makar. So the Flames are now on the clock if they actually take their pick. That's number 89. We'll get to 96. We'll do it. Yvonne will do it. She'll get there. And then she can go out and check out her melons after we're done. Got to see if your melons are growing, right? Do you want me to check? I'm worried about your melons.
We've been doing live streams for too long.
You're the one that said you didn't think I cared about your melons. And I'm showing you that I do.
I'm talking about my plants in my little greenhouse.
So am I. What did you think I'm talking about?
Oh my God.
What did you think I'm talking about? Whoa, hey, wait. We're just friends. What are you talking about?
No, we are not going through all of the rounds.
No, God, no.
Considering the first round took how many?
4 hours.
It's already been over 3 hours.
This is over 3 hours.
You guys have to be getting sick of us by now. I'm sick of us by now, so. Adelaide's sick of us by now. I'm not doing your hair right now.
No, can I do your hair?
No, not right now.
Not right now.
No.
I'll do it before
Okay,
the meetup.
shh. No.
Yes.
You're not doing my hair before we go in public. No.
Can I do your hair before we go in public?
No.
What about your melons?
You're not.
I'm talking about your garden. Do you want to just... I want to tend your garden. What?
Okay, that's enough.
Why
Okay.
am I not allowed to tend your garden? Do you worry about spoilage?
Okay, that's enough. Okay, Adelaide, go do something, please. Why don't you go get the hockey
Pixel.
sticks out of the shed?
Pixel. How you doing?
Okay. Well, we need to get them out for the meetup.
Well,
Oh, my
grandmother would have
goodness.
told her to do with
Okay.
them. I think my grandmother wasn't here.
Okay.
Never say, what do you want me to do with this?
Totally
My grandmother...
just killed the chat.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're all proud of yourself over here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is what happens when we do live streams for over 7 hours.
Cameron, why not? I'm going to say it right now. That's not a real name.
Why not?
Cameron, why not? I know it is a real name, but still, why not? I wish he was drafted by a team I played.
Cam, why not? Pick Cam, why not?
All right.
Yeah, you totally killed the whole chat, Shannon.
I'm sorry.
When's the meetup?
6 o'clock today.
Yeah, it's today. Our meetups are always on the events on Facebook.
Yep. Okay, the Oilers are on the clock next.
All right. Oh, Shannon.
I'm surprised Shane Doan didn't work his daughter into the reveal of the drafting of his kid, because she's in commercials that they do on the Arizona regional channels there. So I'm surprised he didn't work her into that.
If I see you in public, I'm going to ask you about your melons, Shannon.
Well, they're not mine. They're hers. I don't grow the melons. I couldn't grow a decent crop of melons anyways. My melons would look sad. You're much better at it than I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you totally killed this. Feel free to ask any hockey questions, not about my garden. So,
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to the moderators. I'd also like to apologize to my mother, because she raised me better than this. To my grandmother, if you're looking down on me right now, Granny, I'm sorry. Yeah. And to the Academy. I would like to apologize to the Academy. This is why I don't win awards. I don't have a single Oscar. None. So.
All right, here we go.
How many Why Not jerseys are people going to buy already?
What do you think about the Voracek trade?
The Voracek trade, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Again, if Voracek can find his form, I think Atkinson's going to bounce back, though. I like the deal for Philadelphia. Luka Munzenberger, nice. Munzenberger. I'm going to call him Bunsenburner. That's what I'm going to call him. That's great. Luka Munzenberger. Bunsen burners, it's easier to remember.
This is helping with the slow draft. Have you seen black sails?
No.
It is not hard to grow mint. Mint is a weed.
Oh, God.
If you grow mint, you have to have it in a garden box or in a pot, because it will take over.
When I was a kid, I brought home one mint plant from a friend of mine's house because he had mint plants. I was like, oh, all right, cool, I'll take mint. And within a few years, if you mowed our lawn, all you could smell was mint. Because the mint took over the entire lawn.
I had it take a garden square once, and I had to tear the whole thing out.
Yeah, it doesn't go away.
No.
Okay, so
mint
Chicago's
and cilantro.
Cilantro
is the other easy one for this area. Our last house, our yard, when you mowed it smelled like cilantro. Because it just everywhere.
Is Sweeney going to fix the blue line in Boston before the end of the summer? Yes, I have faith in Sweeney.
It does take forever.
Take Harding, drafted by Chicago.
I wasn't able to get the hockey sticks out.
Okay. Are you interested in the Valve Steam Deck console?
Not really. I don't game at all. I really don't. So for me, it's not worth it to me.
A mint border around your house? I mean, it'd smell lovely, but it would be it will take over your lawn.
Because it will kill everything
mint
else.
Yes, mint grows ridiculous. The roots they grow underground, and then it pops up to more plants. And so you can't just pull a plant out because they're all connected. It's a huge spider web of roots in the ground.
Yep.
It has to be in a planter, like bamboo. It has to be in a planter or a pot or something. It will take over everything.
Colorado.
Shannon, you said the meetup was at 6. It's at
Isn't it?
4.
Is it 4?
It's at 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if they show up at 6, we'll still be there.
true.
Sorry, I got thrown off because that's when the games are normally at
mint
Mike's.
for ice cream, yum.
Because we normally play
Yeah.
at Mike's at 6. So
It's gonna be hot.
it's gonna be hot. So bring water. Yeah.
We've already shared our opinion plenty on Melia.
Yep. I'm done with that for now.
Do you expect Drury to make a big move, or is Bushnevich trade all we should expect?
I would think that's probably it for now. I don't think they need to make any other big moves.
Okay, Adelaide, go
Put
play.
her down.
Go play.
She doesn't like being carried around.
On a scale, oh no, I'm not. No, What are temperatures like there now? Still stupid hot. No, it was only
been stupid
hot for a couple
for-
days. Let's see. Right now it's 24. It is supposed to be hot here, but 28, which is hot for here.
Oh,
But
shadows in the
compared to what it was only over 30 for a little while, and it only was over 40 for like 2 days.
over 40 is insane. Because it never happened here before.
Like it rarely gets over 30. That's an every like 4 or 5 year thing. So 40 was insane. But it's staying back the under 30 now, which is our normal. Our normal hot summer is like 25, 26.
Andre Buyalski, who is
Would you consider
center.
doing a goal horn history series?
I don't
Sounds
see,
boring.
and I'm not a goal horn fan. I don't really have a preference or a care. Like I'm not a goal horn person at all.
Do you have any Niagara Ice Dog jerseys? They're one
No.
of my favorite jerseys of all time.
No, I don't have that one. I honestly the CHL ones I have very, very few because again it's a matter of having space and room for stuff, and I'm kind of out of room, so I have to kind of pick and choose which collections I'm collecting. So I'm going to finish out the AHL, but that's about it.
Sending love and blessings from Puerto Rico.
Thank you.
Thank you. Video on why Ratty dropped so far.
Ratu was a matter of teams just didn't see him making that next step this year, and he really stalled out in his draft year. So that's a problem. You stall out in your draft year, teams are going to probably pass on you in favor of guys who did take that next step in their draft year.
Your strawberries over there. She smells like strawberries. Are the Canadian wildfires still burning? Yes. Our BC is under a state of emergency.
Yeah, it's going to be bad for at least another month. So apologies to the rest of Canada because that smoke is probably going to be around for at least another month.
Did you pre-order your Abby Canucks jersey?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Yep. Green one and the white one. I'm all set.
Thoughts on the Tristan brothers?
You mean Tristan Bros?
Yeah. Yes, bros.
Because it's just one
Bros.
guy.
I know.
Just Bros.
Yeah. Bros.
I don't have.
Yes, that's what I meant.
I didn't do a video on him, so I'll be talking about some of these prospects in future videos. So I'll do, now that the draft picks have been made, I may do videos where I talk about all of the draft picks for certain teams. That's what I'm leaning towards. But again, I'll get to that after the draft's done. Tristan Lennox, goaltender.
Can you do a failed rebuilds video?
Seems a shame to pick on the Buffalo Sabres right now, doesn't it? Because they've been out of the playoffs for a very long time, and now they're looking at trading Eichel, so that's definitely a failed rebuild. Yeah, I mean, I can do something on that, but that'll be during the summer after we get through free agency, and just before we get into the season previews. So because of the almost a month later that everything's happening, but the regular season starting about a week later than normal, season previews are coming a lot quicker than I think people realize. Probably quicker than I realized. I was doing the math the other day and realized, wow, in about a month, I'm doing season previews already. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 94.
Buffalo, don't pick on us. That video would be very targeted at Buffalo.
See, and that's how it ends up feeling. And then people are like, he clearly hates this team because it's, because he's stating what happened. So
yeah,
Aiden
smoke made it
Bresta.
to New York. We saw that. It's kind of everywhere right now.
Defense, Buffalo's on the clock. And then the final pick of the second round is Tampa. And then we'll cut it off there. Because we got to cut it off somewhere.
Yeah, we have to do stuff. Thoughts of the Reinhart return? I'm personally disgusted. I get that an unsigned RFA has limited ceiling for return, but really?
I don't think they got enough. I don't think they got enough for him. I really don't.
You're making this difficult.
Hey, Adelaide. Knock it off.
Okay.
Yeah, brothers in Chicago, they got the Docs and the Joneses.
Wow. Why are people surprised Buffalo got no return? They can't get good value for assets.
Then you keep the asset. To me, you keep the asset until you can get a good return. And that, to me, is the measure of a good GM. Is saying, you know what? Until I can get the right return. Even if a player wants out, you call them and go, you know what? I understand you want out, but we haven't found the right fit yet. So you're still here. We've still got you. We're going to have to work this out.
Which team that didn't make playoffs this year makes it this coming season?
I like the Rangers' chances of the teams that missed the playoffs. Josh Bloom, left winger, goes to Buffalo at 95. Tampa Bay now at 96.
Does Hyman play with McDavid?
They'll try it. They'll try him with McDavid, and if that doesn't work, they'll try him with Draisaitl as well.
The Buchnevich trade probably had an effect on the Reinhart return.
Yes, but to me, again, you figure out some other way to do this, and if you can't get a proper return, then you hold the asset. If Reinhart being an RFA is a problem, okay, then you figure that out. You give Florida negotiating rights with Reinhart before you trade him. But we'll see. I know we saw Garland get traded as an RFA to Vancouver. We've seen other players get traded. So we'll see. Roman Schmidt rounds out round 3 to the Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman.
Does Thornton play or retire this year?
I think I think Thornton's leaning towards retirement this year. I think he's probably done.
Okay. 3.5 hours of this, man. See, I don't know where the punctuation is. 3.5 hours of this man, or 3.5 hours of this man.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how
the
that's
Leafs need to add a winger.
punctuated.
If so, who they need a top 6 winger, whether that's from within and if it's going to be Robertson, or if they look outside, they definitely need a winger though. But anyways, guys, gonna wrap this up here because we're through round 3. Thank God. And we survived this.
Quite as long as yesterday's. So.
We survived round 3. I don't understand why the NHL drags this out this long. I don't get it. But we survived, and now we'll get about the video stuff for today, and go about other video stuff and news of the day stuff and whatnot, and then play some street hockey this afternoon as well. So going to lean into that. And I got to make sure I eat between now and then, or else I'm not going to make it through the street hockey. Sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, we will be back on the 28th for Free Agent Frenzy time. So there will be more live streaming funness, and they won't be able to drag this out. So that live stream shouldn't be as long as this one either. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and we will talk again soon.